This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review Netflix's smash hit from Korea, Squid Game. Plus, we geek out about all the news from this year's DC Fandome event, including new trailers and first looks at the Batman, the Flash, the Aquaman and Shazam sequels, the Peacemaker HBO Max show, and a lot more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, October 18th, 2021.
Hey, this is for the Jock and Nerd podcast. This is Simon Rex, a.k.a. Dirt Nasty, baby. You know, I like to listen to the Jock and Nerd podcast when I'm driving to work. Wait a minute, I don't have a job. So I like to listen to it when I'm driving to your mama's house. Ha ha. You tired of boring podcast shows? These guys at Jock and the Nerd are the funniest, most entertaining nerds on earth. So check it out, baby dick.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? Hello, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And joining us is the mastermind behind something called the Calamari Games. They call him the Bottom Man. We call him Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I wear a mask, right? I'm wearing a mask right now.
You're wearing a Dr. Doom mask, aren't you? I can hear
Yes,
it.
I'm actually wearing MF Doom's mask.
Oh, you're wearing. Oh, rest in peace,
Yeah.
MF Doom.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he's got that. That's like the Gladiator Dr. Doom hybrid mask. It's
Absolutely.
a very cool mask. Anyways, I want some calamari appetizers before we start the show. Made me
I
hungry.
actually had a big piece of octopus not too long ago.
Oh, like with the tentacles and the little
like
suction
the
cups?
entire arm. It was like about
Whoa.
a foot long. Like they served it like that. They just brought it was like a giant piece
grilled
of fucking
and you like slice
Yeah.
it and then
They
you,
didn't like garnish it or anything. It just a white plate and an
The
arm
little,
on it.
big pink arm.
Yeah.
Pink purple arm.
And I fucking ate the whole thing, but it was like really weird how they presented it. They didn't even try and hide it. It was like a fucking octopus arm.
is there like a side thing of ink to dip it in to make it tasty?
No,
There should
there
be.
wasn't.
No, that's not how you eat octopus. I love octopus.
I think there was some like lemons on the
I
side.
don't mind octopus.
Nobody beats my mom's calamar. That's for sure. Anyways, why are we talking about this? I'm getting hungry. Enough
I
of
am
this
getting
bullshit.
pretty hungry.
I know. Let's get through this. We got a lot of shit to talk about right now. Let's do it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Oh, so tasty.
I'm glad this show isn't a what if review where you're going to narrate the entire episode to kill time.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing else going on. Like what?
Instead, you'll narrate an entire season of a Netflix series later.
Yes, and episode 1. Oh no. Listen. This is not one of those shows. Trust me, I'm done with that shit. Anyways, this week, lots happened. We got a great review of an awesome Netflix show coming up. But first, of course, maybe not, you caught this live. DC had their virtual event, DC Fandome.
Did either of you catch it live?
I watched I did actually watch it live during the morning.
Nerd.
No, I was too busy scratching my balls to watch that.
Boy, yes.
It takes a lot of time and concentration.
You can't multitask. You could have done both.
Oh shit.
You could have done both.
I got to
things.
lift my nuts with one hand and then scratch the grundle with the other.
Did you watch it live, Anthony?
I might have turned it on for like 20 seconds and they just were sitting there talking about something. And then I'm just going to wait for the trailers.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. If you didn't watch it, you didn't really miss much.
I heard it was pretty lame.
It was a lot of fluff in between. Like, I mean, it was nice fan stuff, like showing cosplay and fan drawings and shouting out fans. But a lot of fluffy pieces like that, and then a little bit of like, here's a teaser, here's first look, and of course they saved the best for last, which we will talk about first, which is Matt Reeves' The Batman trailer. But some of the things I don't think they released on the YouTube. So if you watched it live, you may have caught some stuff, but most of it is on the YouTubes now. So it was exactly like last year's with the virtual environment that looked cool that Jim Lee designed. I don't know. It was fine. This is fine. I just show me the teasers. So let's start with the headlining act first. The Batman trailer. Got a nice, long, thick, girthy trailer here.
Right.
To about almost 3 minutes long. And you get good looks at a lot of the cast. Remind everyone who is in the cast. You got Colin Farrell as Penguin.
You lead with that.
Okay, no, never mind. What did you think, Anthony?
No, I'm saying the movie's Batman, and you went with Colin Farrell as Penguin to start with.
Well, everybody knows
the cast.
Pattinson is the Batman. Zoe Kravitz, you get a good look on her as Catwoman. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. And the Penguin played by, who's playing the Penguin?
Colin Farrell.
There we go.
You just said
no,
it.
Paul Dano.
The Riddler.
Oh, that's the Riddler.
Oh my God, Imran.
God, I'm fucking this all up. Anyways, Colin Farrell, completely unrecognizable, first of all. A lot of people were surprised that they were like, that's Colin Farrell? No fucking way. The movie also has John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. But what'd you guys think of this? It's a different take on Batman. Andy Serkis as Alfred. We see him.
That I find weird.
Floppy job.
Or
Geek Boner.
what do you guys think on this take so far?
My biggest takeaway from this is I like the music.
The music was pretty good.
Like that new theme.
Yeah, very orchestral.
It's very repetitive, but it's kind of, so it's all Batman themes, I guess. But
Yeah.
I found that to be, I'm like, oh, this is a new jam. It's pretty dramatic. And it sounds like a bunch of different themes like kind of cobbled together.
It's driving, though. It's got some,
Yeah.
it's a good driving theme. Okay, so you like the music.
And I liked the whole thing of when the signal goes up, it's not a call, it's a warning. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking badass. And I just thought it was fine. Yeah, I thought it was good. Like, when the Penguin thinks he's got Batman and he blew him up, and all of a sudden you see the fucking Batmobile just come through the flames. That was pretty
dope.
badass.
There's two amazing sequences, I thought, in this monochromatic trailer. It's very monochromatic. It's just like almost black and white. It's brown and white. But that scene where he comes through the fire and his fucking muscle car is badass, and then the hallway quick strobe machine gun fight where he's just walking into machine gun fire and taking him out, and it's flashing. Holy shit, that was fucking dope.
No one shoots him in the open face.
Yeah, you're shooting everywhere with this armor. What's the matter with you?
The 3 feet from him. Like, no one thinks
Shoot
to
him in
use
the
the gun
mouth.
and shoot him in the jaw.
Anthony, what do you think of Pattinson here? We get to hear his voice. We see him as Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I watched this trailer a few times.
Me too.
I'm a big Batman fan. I'd say Batman, even though he's been done to death on screen, is my favorite comic book character of all time. Really grown to appreciate Batman, especially. I think I grew to appreciate Batman more as an adult than as a kid. I like Batman, and I think this trailer is really good. I think it's really awesome. I thought the first trailer was good. I think this trailer is really good. I think they're doing a year one type thing. Maybe like a little bit after a year, and it seems like this version of Batman's still very angry. He says, "I'm vengeance." He's not necessarily out to really protect the innocent. He's more out to just beat up the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's a line where he goes, "I don't really care what happens to me."
Oh yeah.
So he's kind of like on this like death wish type thing. I watched some analysis videos, and it seems like there's some sort of mystery being unraveled here with maybe Batman and his family, and like some sort of corruption that has been tied to Gotham that he's going to find out about. So maybe his arc is learning about how deep the corruption is, and maybe switching from just being on a suicide mission, like a death wish,
Yeah.
to actually like protecting the innocent. But I liked everything. I mean, you mentioned the colors. It's definitely David Fincher-esque.
Yeah.
It looks like a Seven, Zodiac, type. Even like the way Social Network was filmed, like in this brown, dark
There's
gray.
not a lot of color in the trailer.
But that seems very Batman-esque. They did a really good job of making Batman seem badass and scary.
Yeah.
And the world around it looks, interesting. I like they didn't really show Paul Dano, but I like Paul Dano as a fucking great actor.
Apparently, the Riddler worked at Starbucks because he leaves a little question mark in the coffee. So
We find out that the Riddler is a barista.
he's a barista also. Yes, good skills with that Riddler.
There's a lot to. I think there's a lot to like here. I really do think this is I think they got a really good movie, and I like The director too, the guy that did Planet of the Apes, is doing
Matt
this.
Reeves.
Matt Reeves is really good. I like Planet of the Apes. Robert Pattinson gets a lot of flack for being in the Twilight films, but if you watch any of his work post that, he's done a really good job. He's a really good actor. So I know there was some stuff with maybe some criticism of him as Batman and like the way he was.
He didn't want to work out.
He didn't want to work out. I mean, there's a shot of him and he looks like his back's pretty flexed and good. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of rambling, but I really do like everything I saw.
Zoe Kravitz looks great as I think she'll be a great Catwoman. It does have kind of the long Halloween feel. I do like that it's like a younger Batman. Like, I don't think we've ever seen a Batman this young at this age. Even Michael Keaton seemed like he was in his late 20s, early 30s.
Well, you kind of got it in Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah. He even seems younger than that, than Christian Bale in Batman Begins. So I'm digging that. I don't know about the voice yet. There is one part of this trailer, I've watched it a few times, but this one part I had to watch over and over again. It's where he smacks his hand into the...
Yeah, what is he saying there?
I don't know. It sounded like... He's saying, "What have you done?" After the fourth time, I could understand the fuck. I was like, "What are you mumbling here?" So I don't know about the voice, but the fight scenes are fucking great. It looks great, and yeah, I mean, I guess I got Geek Boner for this.
Geek Boner
coming out March 4th next year, 2022.
He looks like he's pissed off. That's what I like. A little pissed off Batman.
Yeah, I again really enjoyed it. I thought I'd be a little fatigued on Batman, but this still's good.
It's very strange because like this was pitched a bunch of times to people as this is the detective movie.
Yeah.
Where he's going to be a detective.
Yeah. So there better
it's going to be like Seven, putting together this criminal and, this serial killer and this dark shit. But what we're getting in these trailers is like this angry Batman. So it kind of like, I don't know how they're going to like marry those two things together. It's a little weird.
They did have one shot of him with like the writing on the floor and him trying to figure out.
And it says the sins of my father and other things.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. They aren't really leaning into the detective stuff in the trailers.
I'm sure it will be there. It's gritty as fuck. It reminds me of like 70s movies a little bit. Like, like the R-rated violent noirish 70s. So I'm digging that. The other thing is what you said about being worn out by the Batman. The funny thing is today at work around the office, around like mainstream, just general people, not nerds like us, the consensus was there's another fucking Batman movie. That's what everybody was saying. I was
Haven't we seen them all?
Yeah, I was like, it's the thing, the same thing. So they may have a hard time trying to, distinguish.
It's just they fucking inundated us with Batman shit. And they're doing like Gotham, and then they're doing this, and doing the Alfred Pennyworth,
and we still have Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton. We'll talk about that. As just tons of Batman around right now,
and they're wearing it thin. So like these movies should be events where they already did the Court of Owls, which I think is a fucking great story, and they already did it in the fucking Gotham. They ruined everything in Gotham, by the way. But like
they could do Court of Owls in this universe easily.
Yeah, this would be perfect for this.
Yeah.
Like
there actually is a lot of rumors that the Court of Owls is in this
It will
movie.
be the corruption that he roots out eventually, maybe.
Well, if he's looking into his father's past and the sins of the father, it would be the Court of Owls.
The Waynes are dirty. Like, that would be great if he found out that his dad wasn't all he thought, and it kind of sends him into a direction.
That could get you into some Kubrickian shit, like like in the Squid Game with the masks and shit like that.
Yeah. I'm hype. I mean, Colin Farrell as like this gangster fat penguin with a scar. Like you can't tell that's him.
Why
and it
is
looks
that
amazing.
so impressive to you?
It looks nothing like the makeup is amazing. Like
it's great makeup, right? Yeah.
I think they have a really good cast. I think they have a good director. I think part of what maybe some people, not me, but I could see the viewpoint is this was supposed to be at one point Ben Affleck's solo.
Yeah, a lot of people
movie.
still want that movie.
And it was supposed to be him directing his own solo Batman movie. And
I would have loved to see what that was, too.
That would have been great. And I think they were going to go with a Deathstroke thing in that, or maybe like an Arkham Asylum thing. I forget what they were going for. But so I think with that in mind, I think this Batman story doesn't have as much hype because, another new Batman and all that stuff. But from only judging from what I'm seeing, I think it looks very well made and an exciting story.
All right, geek boners all around. They should give Ben Affleck like an HBO Max movie. Like, here, make a Batman movie for HBO Max or a series or something. See what happens.
I'd love me some Batman. That's all. I just don't want him to make the same movie over and over again. Like, you know, we've done the Joker a bunch of times. We've had a solo Joker movie. It's okay if he's in kind of into Purview or in Arkham somewhere, like waiting to be unleashed later on. But there's so much other stuff we can get into.
So this looks fairly different from everything we've gotten. Would you guys agree? Or am I being too?
No, it's not like it's not like it's kind of like in the wheelhouse of the Begins films. It's just a little bit more gritty.
Yeah.
It's like if you took a little bit of like Batman 1 and you mixed it with, you know, and you kind of get this.
I would agree with that. Like Begins, if you actually watch Begins again, you'll notice that they have this brownish tone too, especially in the Narrows.
Okay.
A lot of those scenes have this brownish tone. So it does kind of look like Begins. Yeah. It kind of just seems a little more violent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a little more leaning towards.
Well, there's
Fincher.
that scene where he's just pummeling the guy. Like, that's great. We don't get to see that from the Batman.
Well, there's that. I mean, there's a lot of like great little shots. Like there's a shot of Selena Kyle, you know, Zoe Kravitz as Joker, and she's watching him beat down some guy. She's like horrified.
Yes, that's when he's pummeling the guy, and they cut to her reaction.
How hard he's going on the guy.
Yeah. Well, that Joker gang, I bet he beats the shit out of those clowns in the subway.
Well, it looks like, you know, there's a couple. It looks like, you know, hopefully they're able to balance some of the storylines that it looks like they're setting up, because you've got Batman.
It's a lot.
You've got potentially this mystery, maybe Court of Owls. You have Selena Kyle, who obviously is going to have her own agenda. You have the Riddler. You have Carmine Falcone, apparently.
Penguin.
You have Penguin. So we'll see how they're going to balance all
You think this is going to be like a continuing trilogy, or is this one and done?
I think it's a trilogy.
I think they're building a series. Actually, the Penguin may not be in the movie for a big part, actually, is what I heard. So, I think he's building he could build a trilogy of this, keep the story going. But again, we're getting a lot of Batman things, as we will discuss. Listener, let us know what you thought of the Batman trailer. Join the conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's a closed, exclusive group, private, just for our listeners. We're all in there. We chop it up and geek out, and tons of fun memes, and, you know, the usual nerd stuff. Okay, so that was the big thing that they showed at the very end of DC Fandome. Let's go back, hit some of the other highlights. We got our first look at Black Adam, given to us by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Was there.
The bell's about to rock.
You had a long speech, how he's been working on. I mean, I think he was cast as this guy in like 2007, right? He's wanted to do this movie for so long.
For a while, yeah, he's wanted to do it.
And they give us a sneak peek of the little scene where they come upon him getting zoomed down, and then he just fries a dude, and they shoot him, and he catches a bullet, and it all looks fantastic. What did you guys think? He's pretty big in this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I think there's going to be other heroes in there. Is Hawkman going to be in this or something like that?
Yes, Eldris Hodge is playing Hawkman.
Dr. Fate with Pierce Brosnan.
Correct.
Atom Smasher.
Noah Centineo is Atom Smasher, yes.
And then there's a female, I forget what her character is.
Oh, Cyclone. And then, Sarah Shahi is playing Isis.
Ooh.
Also, so you got Isis in this, and is he a bad guy? Looks like a bad guy. He looks very, very intimidating. The suit looks cool. Ooh. Anthony, what'd you think? Any other thoughts?
I liked it. Obviously not as much as I like the Batman, but that's not a full trailer. Black Adam, I've read some stuff in the comics with him. Eventually, hopefully this guy crosses over with Shazam, because they are kind of arch rivals
come from
in the
same
comics.
Place. Yeah.
Yeah. Curious to see why... Curious to see like what they do with Black Adam. Like, they're obviously going to make this guy kind of an anti-hero at some point. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Hopefully these, and it looks like he's facing the Justice Society of America with these characters. Yeah. I mean, so the clip looks good, and I don't really have much else to say.
I mean, I think the thing that's going to sell this is The Rock's passion. Like he says in the clip earlier, he's like, I was born to play this role, and he's wanted to be this guy for years. So hopefully that translates, and you just get this.
Why do you
great
think
character.
he was so drawn to?
I don't
Black
know.
Adam?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Like,
why.
He's not the first guy that I think of as when I see The Rock, but I mean, like, I could see it obviously, now, but like, I just have no idea why. This is Shazam's main bad guy. We're going to do a movie on that. Like, yeah, that's the one I want to do.
Right.
It just seems weird.
You like to play a villain, but it's kind of like you said, Anthony, anti-hero villain that can, you don't know exactly what his motivation is. Maybe that's why he likes the layers, maybe.
Yeah. We should talk about Shazam because this is like the opposite side of the coin. There's this sequel that's coming out that's going to explore Shazam's like background and mythology and everything. And that might be a good way to expand on Black Adam as well. So
it would be a good idea, Imran, to talk about Shazam next.
We got a Shazam first look trailer teaser that not a lot to go on. It's kind of like a behind the scenes featurette. But joining the cast in this one, you have the bad guys. The villains will be Helen Mirren as Hespera and Lucy Liu as Calypso. And what was even in this? What do you think about this?
They went all over like Greek mythology and all kinds of different mythology, different
suits
backgrounds.
Look great. I think the suits look amazing.
They have upgraded suits. Yeah. So you're seeing that
there's all these mythical, actual Greek monsters from Greek mythology that they're introducing into Shazam 2.
Did you watch the trailer?
I did. I totally forgot. Now I remember.
Not only did he watch it, but every time you make a point, he's trying to get in what he's saying.
I forgot all this. Okay,
guys,
go ahead.
If you're doing the shot game, you guys should probably be drunk because he is interrupted already a lot.
Floppy jock.
Okay, go on. Anthony, what do you think of the Shazam 2 first look?
It's a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, so you don't really you get a somewhat of. It's not really like you can get a feel for how it is in terms of like tone because it's not cut the way the movie is. It's more like the cameras filming other people filming stuff. But that being said, I liked Shazam a lot. I think Shazam is one of my favorite, if not my most favorite DC. I think now they're calling themselves the Extended Multiverse.
Oh,
right.
Okay,
I think that's what they're calling themselves now. But it's one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite. So I do think this will be a lot of fun. Hopefully, my only thing is hopefully they don't like they have the kids grow up like he's not just like a big kid in the suit.
Yeah.
Like hopefully he's matured a little bit. Like I'd like to see a little bit of character growth there. I don't know too much about Shazam's villains outside of the villain we saw in the first film and Black Adam. So, these women that are they gods? I don't know what they are. I think
they're gods.
Got it.
You still want him to be kind of a teenager, Billy Batson, right? I mean, that's kind of
a little
the
bit.
charm
That's kind of the appeal.
thing, yeah.
Just not exactly. I want him to be he should be a little more grown up.
I feel like that character has to evolve somewhat, from movie to movie. So I think that would be a smart thing to do. But when we look at this behind the scenes stuff, we are seeing that they're not just putting Shazam in another situation, whatever, like they did in the other movie. They're going back and they're actually expanding because now they have the whole family of heroes, the Marvel family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they're calling them?
I don't think you can call them
Marvel because they want to call them Marvels. I don't know what they call them.
Yeah, they would be the Marvel family, but
the original Marvel family. They cannot. You'll get sued. They can't call
the Shazam family.
I think they're just called the Shazam family.
I don't even know what the fuck they're called.
They're called because the characters' name are like Superhero Freddy, Superhero Darla. I mean, that's what their characters' names are. So,
Shazam.
But the first movie was really a lot of fun and totally charming and surprisingly
the Shazam
charming.
fam.
So, and I like that they're going to be mythological creatures and more monsters, and should be fun. That's coming out 2023, so a little bit of wait on that one. And the other behind-the-scenes featurette we got was for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And this, again, is really just them talking about the movie. A lot of behind-the-scenes.
Is that the cartoon?
No, this HBO Max cartoon, it's a musical, Ruggs. They played a clip of it on DC Fandome, and I was like, oh, what is this? It's like this tongue-in-cheek. I don't like the style of animation.
It looks like Thundercats Go. And
yes,
remember that?
Yes.
It never came out, or if it came out, nobody gave a fuck enough to even watch it.
That's the animation.
It was so fucking miserable.
And
I got kicked off Twitter for that.
Yeah, so there's this there's this Aquaman and the Legends Lost City of Atlantis animated thing on HBO Max. It's a music. It's songs in it. He's singing.
What's this for?
Is
this for the people who buy pop figures?
The song, probably. He is singing a song about how he talks to fish in the clip. He's like, I talk to the fish.
I saw that.
I was like, wow, okay, that's what they're doing. Anyways, what I liked in this Aquaman 2,
I'm surprised you didn't like that, Imran.
Yeah,
you like all kinds of comedy stuff.
I couldn't get past how it looked.
No, we've hardened Imran over the years.
Some of the stuff I have
just
a
his
line.
dick. All right,
I have
let me take your shirt off, Anthony.
Talk about hard abs. You get a good shot at Black Manta, Yahya Abdul-Mateen in his Black Manta suit that looks fucking amazing. And this is coming out, I don't know when, later. So what thoughts on this behind-the-scenes featurette?
I didn't see that. I had no idea. I have to go back and watch this stupid
it's
shit
just them on set. It's
the featurettes are always, similar to the Shazam one. It's tough to really get a taste of what the tone is going to be and like how it's cut. It's the same director, similar to Shazam. It's the same exact director, James Wan. Aquaman 1 was balls insane.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite movie ever, but I did appreciate how just insane like they were going
He went
with all
for
the
it.
visuals.
Yeah.
They definitely went for it. Seems like they're going to go for it again. Black Manta will have a bigger role apparently.
He's not dead.
So
Spoilers.
not dead.
Did any
No,
of
he's
us
not dead.
revisit that film?
I have not watched it again.
Neither have I.
think I
No,
may
I've
have
not.
caught part of it when it was like running on HBO, and I was like, wow, this movie's fun to look at and goofy or whatever, but I haven't sat down and watched it.
It's a goofy film.
It's goofy. But, I want to see where they go with this, if they're going to go balls to the wall again. Ocean Master is back. Patrick Wilson. Mira is there. Amber Heard. So, everybody returning. So, Momoa's got an updated costume also. You kind of see that. Okay, let's get to an actual trailer that I loved, and it is for the Peacemaker HBO Max series. They put out a full trailer, and oh my god, this is right up my alley. I love the humor, the tone, the violence, the fact that he is like the butt of the jokes, and he's playing this like Forrest Gump type character almost. What the fuck? I'll talk about my favorite parts. What did you guys think of this?
It made me laugh. I thought it was funny. I mean, I'm curious to check it out. So I'm not usually a comedy in my superhero type guy unless it's like baked into what it is. And this seems to what, like, I don't know anything about, the Peacemaker really.
Me neither. And this is the character.
Like, I mean, I've seen glimpses and stuff, but it's not like somebody close to my heart that I like follow. So even if they are deviating from that stuff, I don't know enough to give a shit. So I'm cool with it.
Right.
I'm cool with them making a joke out of the Peacemaker. I'm cool with it. So I'll check it out. I did laugh. The hugging the eagle thing.
Oh my God. Hugging the eagle and then butt babies. Where he's telling him that his brother told him that sometimes the baby comes out the butt. Oh my. That's lovely. That's great. I'm going to fucking love this. And,
I've never heard that term before.
No,
butt babies.
that's fucking hilarious.
I wish I would have thought of that. God damn it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the trailer. Similar to Ruggs, Peacemakers, the reason this character is really anything is because of two people, James Gunn and John Cena.
Yep.
So they've made a character into something that now we kind of have like a rough idea of who he is, right? He's this goody two-shoes, kind of tone-deaf, oblivious,
Psychopath.
has no tact in terms of like how to act around people, and like has very antiquated views on how things are, but also very rigid in terms of like, I'll do anything in the name of peace.
I'll kill in
kinda,
the name of peace.
Yeah, like we saw what he is. He will protect his country, by any means necessary. Maybe this show kind of loosens him up a little bit. But it did make me laugh, and I really enjoyed the character in the Suicide Squad. So this is one of those where I'll definitely watch. And you got more of John Cena fighting in his underwear.
Oh my God,
too,
he's
which
dancing around in his tighty whities. You have
tighty
the
whities.
scene where he's trying to get his dad's respect, played by Robert Patrick. So that's
I was going to mention
gonna be a
that
thing.
Robert Patrick is spot on casting just physically for John Cena's father.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at they look. It looks like that'd be his.
Yeah.
I have an observation though. Okay, so James Gunn's girlfriend or wife or whatever.
Yes, Jennifer Holland is in this as Amelia Harcourt. Yes,
it's clear that she's going to be the foil, and this is going to prop her up. Like, this is her big moment, and James Gunn's going to give her plenty of room to shine.
Sure,
as they're going to make her like the one that actually is the fucking hero behind the hero and does everything while fucking Peacemaker fucks everything up.
Well, you got Steve Agee coming back as John. Also, he'll probably be more comedic relief, but even, he's making fun of Peacemaker the whole time.
Right.
Gunn is, I mean, this is basically Gunn's baby. From what I'm seeing, he's wrote all 8 episodes.
Yeah, and he's directing
5.
Yeah. So James Gunn bringing us a TV show about Peacemaker. Fucking hey. There's also there's a character of Vigilante. Adrian Chase is in there. You see.
The Vigilante.
Yeah, he's like a goofy Vigilante.
Well,
he was an Arrow too.
Well, he was on Arrow. He's supposed to be like a lawyer.
Right.
It's basically DC's answer to the Punisher. So when the Punisher came out, all right, he was a mob guy that all of his family got killed by the mob or whatever. He was a policeman. His family got killed by, so he goes on a vendetta to kill the mob. Same exact story. DC fucking cloned it.
They called him the Vigilante.
But
like
instead of being a cop, he was a DA.
Right.
And his family got killed by the mob. And so he put on a mask and, did the Punisher thing. But so it's the same exact character.
So in this one, he's a little goofy and but also wants to kill everybody. I mean, I love that line. He's like, we only kill innocent people unless we make a mistake. And and also there's a character in here called Judo Master that's going to be in all the episodes. So
just one quick thing back on the Batman, because I know Rug Boy asked. They are planning to do a trilogy, and it says here they have 2 spinoffs already in terms of TV shows.
Yeah, they have the Gotham PD or Gotham show. There's going to be another Gotham show. And then
Stop doing that.
What's the other spinoff show? Jesus, I don't know.
Don't know.
Catwoman? You could give Catwoman a show. Dude, I can't wait.
Also to note that the Batman, although DC technically everything is canon because they've already acknowledged that a multiverse exists, the Batman is in its own universe. It's not going to interact with these characters.
Yeah, it's its own little pocket universe over there. Because, I mean, you have 2 Commissioner Gordons. You have J.K. Simmons, who's going to be in the Batgirl movie as still Commissioner Gordon, and now Jeffrey Wright, who is the Watcher, who is in Westworld, who is also now Commissioner Gordon. He does a lot. The Watcher is Commissioner Gordon. But
he was also Basquiat.
Oh, he was Basquiat in the Warhol movie?
No, in the Basquiat.
Oh, in the Basquiat movie. Oh, that was him really young, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless I'm confusing him with somebody, and if I am, I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
Lame.
Peacemaker streaming HBO Max January 13th. I cannot wait for this. It's going to be great. Okay, let's move on to the last big teaser we can discuss, and it's for the Flash movie. And I will credit, before we get to the teaser, I'm going to shout out Jason Dutch, who posted in our Facebook group. He managed to grab a screenshot of Ezra Miller's outfit while he was introducing the Flash trailer. And he basically said, we just finished shooting. We don't have a lot. We've cut together this teaser. And Jason Dutch commented, Ezra Miller declares he has no future in the fashion industry. Ruggs, can you describe for the listener what Ezra Miller is wearing in this picture?
I don't know what he's wearing from his waist down.
Yeah, from the waist
so
up.
That might even be even better. But from what I can see in this photo, he has his hair parted in the middle, which is
correct.
Total Gen Z.
Yes.
Round John Lennon glasses.
Yep.
A choker
necklace.
Yeah, and then an open-chested shirt. Like it's basically a shirt with sleeves. It looks like, or is he sleeveless? I can't tell.
Oh, those are sleeves.
Big neck, though. Yeah,
but it's got an open neck that kind of you could see like his cleavage.
Yeah,
and then a jean vest, denim vest over that.
Yeah, lots of chest hair. Anthony,
and a pin.
And there's a pin. Anthony, what would you rate this outfit on a 1 to 10?
This looks like he works for what's those like makeup places?
Fucking Ulta? Sephora?
Yeah, it looks like he works for like Sephora, but is like the mechanic that works for Sephora.
Yes, I'm not sure what this look is.
I mean, this outfit's terrible.
No, this is just like This is like he looks like he's in Michael Jackson's Bad video. He's like he's in the background
He looks
as
like
one of the gang
dancers,
members.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or in Beat It or something.
they're fierce, but they can dance.
Yes.
Like like.
Oh, Ezra Miller.
Oh yeah, he does look like he's the background of the Beat It or Bad videos for sure.
Yeah, definitely tie his hands to another guy and let them dance fight. Do it.
You don't know who's picking your clothes, Ezra Miller.
I don't know what's going on there. The choker really throws me off.
The choker that's the piece de resistance. Like, oh, that's what? Choker. Okay, maybe there's
That's
a
why
leash.
I'm dying to know. I didn't see this part. I want to know what he's wearing on the bottom.
No,
Is he wearing roller skates?
They didn't show the
What's
bottom.
he got?
It was just the top waist up
it
shot.
would be topped off if he was wearing roller skates.
Yeah,
for
if he's
sure.
wearing roller skates and like
He's slowly rolling
leggings, or like a leotard.
Leg warmers.
Yeah, leg warmers
He
and roller
just needs
skates.
a headband also.
Oh, he
What
could
about a
definitely be in the
headband?
bad video.
Yeah.
You could definitely get it.
He has wristbands on, sweat wristbands. I don't know. They didn't show the bottom. They just showed this. So thanks, Jason, for
That would be a
grabbing.
great meme to just put a bottom to this with different bottoms.
He looks like Paul Bunyan if they took Paul Bunyan out of the forest and gave him bottles of rosé to drink just for days.
It looks like the denim jacket is so big. It's like it's not his size.
No, there's so many things going on with that.
Okay,
picture.
anyways, what did we think of? There's actually, despite that, a lot of
Well, you know
cool
what we
shit.
need to do though.
Yes.
Can
I pull this off?
Imran, if you uploaded a picture of yourself
In this
trying
outfit.
to dress up, we would have just as much to say.
Oh, just Imran in a regular work day?
in a
him
suit?
trying to dress up to go out to somewhere. Hey, Imran, put on your outfit to go out tonight.
Okay, it would be just as
If
bad.
you
No, you're
uploaded
right.
your picture, we would have a lot more. We would have just as much to say about you.
You are.
I've seen you dress, and it's not good.
100%
Not funny. Does he look like
correct.
Does he look like a real life SpongeBob? Like when he goes,
This is going great.
I mean, this is coming from the guy that said socks have no utility whatsoever.
They're unnecessary.
Yeah, so
I still
this is what
believe
we're
that.
dealing with here.
All right, fair enough. It would probably be just as ridiculous, but I would make
Would
better
be, it's
choices.
tough for you to make.
I would make different choices than this. No, I don't know if they would be better. They'd be different.
No, it's not good. It's that good. I don't know who dresses like this.
No, I don't know. I was going to
do.
ask, what's the look?
I do, but
Who? Yeah.
I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, the homeless people.
I guess
don't know.
if you were walking down in New York, you would see this probably.
Like in the
This is
fashion
like common
district
around me.
in
Yeah.
Soho or some shit, like on Fashion Week, maybe. I don't know. But every day, this is just what he wears every day. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the fucking what they showed us.
This is what you see at a Trader Joe's by me. Like
He looks like the guy just got fired from Trader Joe's. We get a quick tease of the Flash movie, and I'm just gonna cut to the big moment. I mean, you get to see his suit, which has gold light going through it, and it looks pretty sick. Actually, I thought that looked cool. And you see the whole Allen household. But the big thing being at the end, we know Michael Keaton's in this movie. I will go over the cast list right here. It's all right here. They didn't show us Michael Keaton. They just showed you the back of the Tim Burton cowl. But then there's a reaction shot. And in this shot is two Barry Allens and Sasha Calle as Supergirl.
Geek boner.
Okay, did you notice there's two Barry Allens?
Yes, I did notice.
The Barry Allen in the back is wearing, Andre Machete, a few months ago, posted a photo from the set of this suit. And it was a Batman suit that was spray painted red and a yellow lightning bolt spray painted on the Batman insignia. That other Barry Allen is wearing that fucking suit.
Oh, shit.
The Batman
They
suit.
also show in the trailer them spray painting the boots that Batman wore in Tim Burton's Batman and putting the
shit.
logo of the Flash on it.
Oh, that's right. He's got a little stencil. Comments, reactions. Does give you geek boner or floppy chop?
So I don't know. That's weird that he's wearing Batman's rubber suit for
I
running.
think Michael Keaton's Batman trained that other Flash in that universe or something.
He's Bat Flash.
Yeah, he's Bat Flash or something.
So what I think, I got a lot of thoughts actually.
Break it down.
First off, I actually like the trailer. It's unfortunate that they're going already to the Flashpoint storyline, which I love.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think the Flashpoint storyline's really fun, and there's a lot you could do with it. I like that they're bringing in, Michael Keaton Batman. I like Ben Affleck's in this movie too, for what it's worth.
Yep.
So I like all the fun things they can do. The only thing is that Flashpoint storyline meant a lot because we've had years with that version of Barry Allen, and we've only seen really like one film with
barely
it. Well,
know this Flash.
We have 2 films. We don't know which one is canon to what we're going to see on screen with this version of Barry Allen. So it's a little different. We haven't grown to love Ezra Miller as Barry Allen yet. That being said, I enjoyed the trailer, the teaser a lot. I think there's a lot of possibilities here. As far as the versions of Batman or the versions of Flash, I think Barry. So first off, to back up, the Flashpoint storyline basically is Barry can travel back in time. So he travels back in time to save his mom from ever dying. And in doing so, he completely fucks up the entire timeline.
And then has to go back and stop him from saving his mom.
Right. And by doing that, like Thomas Wayne is now Batman. He doesn't have any powers. Aquaman, like Atlantis and the Amazon are at war. Like half of Europe's underwater.
Yeah,
so
Bruce gets shot. Martha Wayne becomes the Joker.
Correct.
It's
correct.
craziness.
So I don't know if they'll go all that out, but clearly he can travel back in time. He does something where he travels back in time. He maybe ends up in Tim Burton's universe, and I think he doesn't have any powers.
Okay.
And I think that's why he seeks out Bruce Wayne to help him get back the powers, because that's what he does in the Flashpoint. He seeks out Bruce Wayne, or in this case, Thomas Wayne. In that case, Thomas Wayne, to get his powers.
So,
back.
you think that's a Barry from the future? Maybe not another universe.
No. Well, I think this might be spoilery.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all speculation at this.
Speculation, but I think so. One of the big revelations is Reverse Flash. Eobard Thawne manipulates Barry into going back and saving his mom because he knows it's going to fuck shit up.
Right.
So, and in the comics, Eobard Thawne is from the future and likes to fuck around with the Flash and even gets plastic surgery to look like Barry Allen. So, this all could be a ruse, and I think that other Flash is from another universe, but it's actually just Eobard Thawne disguised as the Flash.
It's the Reverse Flash disguised as the Flash. Oh, shit.
Correct.
Oh, shit.
I think that is who is the villain of the movie.
Oh, it's not the Green Goblin. Oh, wait a minute. That's the other Spider-Man.
I mean, that's why I think that the irony, the funniest thing is Marvel beat them to this fucking multiverse bullshit so much earlier.
It'd just be interesting to compare both of these, because when Anthony was describing this, I'm like, it sounds like a lot like
if that's what's happening in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or that's what's doing at Marvel.
It's pretty similar. Yeah. And if you're not like really plugged into the comics, or into like, the differences between Marvel and DC, you're gonna be like,
they're copying each other.
What's going on?
Yeah. DC did it first.
Marvel does it better.
Marvel released it first.
Ruggs, comment on this.
Well, my big takeaway, I didn't do all of this kind of like investigation like Anthony did. I just watched and go, oh, Batman's in this. And that was it. That's basically my reaction. I was like, oh yeah, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Right from the beginning, they pull up, that's Wayne Manor from Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah.
They're playing the Danny Elfman score.
Yeah, it's
when
like he's going to pull the thing off the car, right? The Batmobile.
Yep,
right?
that's the
that's
Batmobile.
at the end, right.
When he fires up the cave, that's the same switch from Tim Burton's Batman.
Oh, shit, that's right.
You hear Michael Keaton talking.
Yes.
It's like saying something along the lines of like, you can save, you could go anywhere, you could be anywhere, but you're deciding to save.
Yeah.
You care about this universe. Like, why, basically?
That was Michael Keaton.
You're clearly going to see, and you might see, there's in the comics, Reverse Flash kicks the shit out of Batman in one scene.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Like basically, like there's Reverse Flash and Batman just has to hold off Reverse Flash for a minute, which doesn't seem very long, but when you're in it against Reverse Flash, that could be eternity. And there's a shot in the trailer where you see Batman's cowl on the ground and blood dripping.
Oh my God, I was just looking at that now. I was like, is this Batman's cowl? And there's a trail of blood.
Shit, I gotta watch this again now.
There's a lot of rumors that Michael Keaton's going to get killed in this movie.
No.
That's like, this is the end of his Batman. So, yeah, I mean, this movie's basically further, because the show already had Ezra Miller on there, the Flash show. So they've already kind of established that there is a multiverse, but this might just further enhance, like, hey, everything's canon. Like, everything you've ever watched from DC is canon. Even that fucking silly 66 Batman's canon.
It's all canon. They put chubby old Burt Ward in this too.
But it'll be very exciting to see Michael Keaton throw on the suit with his wrinkly ass face underneath.
So, according to the cast list, you have Ben Affleck, Batman, Michael Keaton, Ezra Miller. Tamura Morrison will be in this as Tom Curry, Aquaman's father. Ron Livingston is playing Henry Allen. Kiersey Clemens is Iris Wells. And Sasha Calle as Supergirl is also in this. I don't know where they picked her up from, what universe she's from.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk around that too, because in the Tim Burton Batman films, they acknowledge Superman one time, but it's in the Schumacher films where he goes, this is why Superman doesn't have a partner.
Oh, that's right. When Robin came in, yeah.
From what I've read, this movie's only acknowledging the first two Batman films as canon.
Okay.
The Tim Burton Batman films. Sorry. And the suit looks really cool. I like the gold.
The gold
lighted
shit
suit.
looks amazing, yeah. But you also have, they're dealing with the Snyder DCEU too, if you put it in the Ben Affleck,
Right.
but heavily Tim Burton, it seems.
Yeah, and there's we don't know where the Supergirl came from,
Right.
so there's a lot of questions, but it looks pretty exciting.
I'm intrigued. This will be out November 4th, 2022. So got a little over a year for that one. Before we move on, finish with some other quick headlines from DC Fandome. Listener, visit our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop, where you can get awesome swag, really niche podcast t-shirts that no one else will have. You'll be the only one. You'll be the envy of all your friends. Hoodies.
Let me ask you guys something real quick about the Flash before you.
Yeah.
We wrapped it up, but I have one question for both of you. Would you have cared about this film if it didn't include Michael Keaton?
The Batmans weren't in it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, not the
It would
Batmans.
It would drop off dramatically. My interest.
Yeah, not just the Batmans. Tim Burton's Batman.
Well, it
being
would
in
have
this.
to be a different story, right? They wouldn't be doing Flashpoint.
I mean, if Batfleck was in it, it would still help, but not as much as the nostalgic send off that having the Keaton Burton Batman in there.
Right. I mean, that's an iconic.
It is.
Batman.
It adds so much bonus points. Like that was such a smart move to put him in.
Like you got 1970s Superman and you got 80s Batman, and those things are just in the DNA of superhero movies, right? Those are the two ones that really made them a household name. And then with that,
they're the pillars.
Yeah,
those two
Spider-Man
movies,
was able to be the third one, and then now we're off to the races. So
right. Because I had read. Not originally. If they weren't able to get Michael Keaton Batman, they were going to get who played Negan in
Jeffrey Morgan.
Well, Jeffrey Morgan. So if you remember,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne
is the Thomas Wayne in the opening scene of Batman v Superman, and they would have just had him come back and be Thomas Wayne.
Oh,
well, I wouldn't give a shit about that.
Yeah,
they would have just gone closer to the Flashpoint storyline.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna care about that as much as Michael Keaton. Yeah,
it's just great because you have Superman, which is in the 70s, which is all this happy and optimistic, and then you have this Batman, which is so dark. And it just did the two extremes of that kind of movie making, and you have them in just two movies, the two polar opposites. It's great.
And anytime you throw on that Batman, even to this day, first off, it holds up, but secondly, the universe he created, the artwork of the city and everything, it's so unique. It doesn't look like anything.
Yeah, it's very gothic,
super gothic,
it's dark, and the score from the opening credits just fucking pumps you up in that movie, where it's flying through the bat symbol in the opening credits, and you're just in. Oh, it's so good. I love the Prince music. I will always love the
What
Prince
a choice.
music. I know.
What a choice.
But it worked. Remember Bat Dance? And he was half Joker and half Batman and dancing around all silly. That was the fucking 1989 was a great year. It's still good shit.
And now they're gonna make it canon. They're gonna make it canon to this universe.
That's amazing. It's about time.
You think it's gonna get all the youngins to go watch the old Batman, receding hairline, Michael Keaton?
I think people watch that still. Don't the kids watch that? I don't know. Ben Affleck is their Batman, isn't he?
I don't know if he made much of an. I think Christian Bale.
Oh, right, Bale. Sorry, I keep forgetting about Bale.
Yeah.
And now we'll see how Pattinson does. There's a lot of fucking Batman.
There's a lot.
Anyways, visit our shop/shop, blah, blah, blah. Look, here's some other quick headlines. I'm just going to run through them. Yell out comments if anything strikes you, okay? Other movie headlines. Wonder Woman 3 is in the works with Patty Jenkins, and Linda Carter will be returning as Asteria that we saw in the post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. They gave us a first look at concept art at the Blue Beetle movie where Miguel from Cobra Kai, Jolo Mardueña, is playing Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. The suit looks pretty cool if you click that link. It's like a rendered drawing, but
Yeah, so it looks like a video game.
yeah,
or
it does look like a video game. So I don't know how realistic that's going to look.
I see Ted Cord in the back.
Horde Industries, yeah. So the Blue Beetle is coming, and Batgirl movie concept art because Leslie Grace is her name is playing Batgirl, and this is in the Snyder universe, the main DCEU timeline, because J.K. Simmons will be Gordon in this movie.
That's a shitty piece of concept
Yeah,
art
they didn't
to
really
release.
have much for the Batgirl.
It's like the most blurry and nondescript thing you could show.
It's just her like on the edge of a building. Yeah.
Yeah, you blew it, DC.
Yeah,
on that
not
one.
much there. And as far as video games, they had a new story trailer for the Suicide Squad Kill.
That was
the
actually
Justice League.
enjoyable.
That was a crazy story trailer. It looks like a fun game.
Yeah.
Good version of the Suicide Squad. And then Gotham Knights, that game where you play as Robin or the Red Hood or Batgirl or Nightwing.
It just seems strange that you're doing Court of Owls without Batman.
They're doing Court of Owls without Batman in that Gotham Knights video game. They got a story trailer for that. On the TV side, new seasons, all these shows have been renewed. Batwoman, surprisingly, has been renewed. What the fuck?
I thought it was canceled.
I thought it was canceled. Supergirl ended. Batwoman, they're giving another season. The Flash is getting another season. Superman and Lois getting another season. Legends of Tomorrow and Stargirl is getting another season. And we talked about that Aquaman, King of Atlantis fucking cartoon show. But Harley Quinn also getting a season 3, as well as Young Justice, Titans, and Doom Patrol, all renewed for new seasons.
There's more Titans coming.
At HBO Max. I've not caught up on that show. I'm behind like 4 episodes.
I'm so apathetic to Titans.
on this new season. I don't even care.
So, the CW stuff will still be on CW, I'm assuming? And then the rest of the stuff is HBO Max?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then some of the stuff ends up on HBO Max after airing on CW or I don't remember how it goes. But like
Young Justice?
Young Justice has a new season, season 4. They got a new story.
I haven't even watched season 3.
I did not watch season 3 either.
I watched some of it and it wasn't enough. It was about these new characters and I didn't give a shit about them. So I was like, all right.
Greg Weisman.
I'm out.
Good storyteller. There is a show coming out called Batman the Cape Crusader. This is an animated show that's going to be on HBO Max from J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves, and Bruce Timm. This is essentially a continuation of the 90s Batman animated series. It's going to continue this film noir look and feel, and it's just Batman in Gotham. There's no other heroes, no Justice League, and it's kind of set like in the 40s style. This sounds amazing. There's a behind-the-scenes clip. I can't wait to watch this.
Oh, they didn't show you any artwork? Oh,
No,
they did?
No, they referenced this one short that was like kind of a black and white short that was part of something else.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a very like noir-inspired look. So they're like...
the long ears,
yes,
yeah.
the long Bernie Wrightson ears, exactly. So they're like, it's going to look like this, but it is in a spiritual successor to the 90s animated show with fucking Bruce Timm involved. So it's got to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really catch too much of it.
No, yeah, but are you excited for them continuing the animated series from the 90s?
I don't remember offhand the 90s.
Really?
Bruce. I remember the watching the show. I don't remember the storyline.
You should go back and watch some of like the key episodes. It's still so fucking good.
Batman
sure
the
it holds
Animated
up.
Series
Yeah,
is
it's
great.
amazing. It's still so good because they use the Danny Elfman music, and it's the great style.
Yeah. And they continued that character in Justice League.
Right. Yeah, and then you had a couple of other Bruce Timm shit again is the best.
The Joker is great. Harley Quinn is great in that.
Yeah, that's where Harley Quinn started too. Was in that show. Other animated features. There is this Injustice movie coming out this week, actually tomorrow,
Oh, cool.
October 19th on Blu-ray and HD.
I caught a little clip of a Batman Superman scene from that.
What'd you think of that? This looks kind of good. I might check this out.
Oh, I want to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it looked, this is the storyline from the video game basically made this popular, where Superman kills Joker in a rage because Joker killed Lois, and he becomes
a tyrant.
Super fascist. The clip was, was good. Batman obviously is like of the stance that we don't get to decide who lives and dies, and Superman's like basically, so you're gonna let like all these criminals go out and kill people and they don't have any consequences, and how many of them have fucked up your life? And Batman's like, basically you kill one and that's how it starts, and it leads you down a dark path. And starts their little like Batman doesn't want to support Superman anymore. So
it's an interesting what if or Elseworld story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's made it popular, turned it into a series of comic books.
The game made it popular. I mean, Zack Snyder wanted to do basically that.
And then everybody wanted Evil Superman.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing.
Yeah, created all the buzz around Evil Superman.
That was the whole thing. But now we'll get to see. I mean, I kind of like this idea of he becomes this fascist dictator because
I think you can't do Evil Superman until you show the not Evil Superman.
Correct.
He didn't really get to do that.
Correct.
And he just stampeded in BVS to this kind of like ambiguous Superman. So he blew it doing this. So watching this in its own movie, in an animated film where it all makes sense, that should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be better where it's just like its own thing. Yeah, because we got a Superman whose father told him, you know what, maybe don't save people. Maybe it's not your problem. Maybe
that's strange.
Maybe you should just mind your business there, Clark. Okay, Dad.
Let me die in a tornado for no apparent reason.
The line there too is like he goes, well, should I have let them what was I supposed to do? Let them die? And he goes, maybe.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God. What kind of message are you sending, Pa
Let
Kent?
the kids die?
Jesus Christ, John Kent, whatever your name is.
All right.
Uncle Ben would not approve.
No, Uncle Ben is very upset right now. Other animated movies, Green Lantern, Beware My Power movie coming out. This Battle of the Super Sons where it's Superboy and Robin teaming up. And this Battle of the Super Sons will be DC's first fully CG animated movie. And then they're doing this. There's a trailer for this movie called Catwoman Hunted. And it's very anime looking. Like they must have got an anime house to animate this, but it looks cool. There's also a Superman and Lois cartoon they were working on, also anime style, but it looked kind of good. It was like going to be the adventures of Lois and Jimmy or something. So a lot of animated shit coming out. And then the last thing I wanted to mention I thought was interesting, Jim Lee announced that DC is changing Superman's motto. You guys know Superman's motto that's been his motto for like 83 years now. What is it?
Truth, justice, and the American way. But
correct.
They did away with that a long time ago.
Oh, they did they? Well, now
I feel like this is just a headline for PR.
Oh, okay. Because he came
try and virtue signal because they've been ever since Superman became a global icon. Like I think even as far back as the 70s, like somewhere in the 80s after the movies came out, they said, oh, well, now Superman's for the whole world.
He's bigger than America. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the new motto, as Jim Lee said, is truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. And he says, quote, to better reflect the storylines that we are telling across DC and to honor Superman's incredible legacy of over 80 years of building a better world, Superman's motto is evolving. But I agree. I always thought Superman is a hero for the world, not just...
I mean, he has American values because he grew up thinking that he was a special human and then not really finding out, according to like some of the shit that I've read of Superman, like he doesn't realize his alien heritage until later on in his life.
Correct.
So, your formative years are important. Like that creates who you are as a person. At least, a lot of it, the basis of it is there. So, he is an American in a lot of respects.
Clark is American. Clark Kent's American.
Yeah, sure.
Superman is for the world. Anthony, what do you think? Is this necessary or is this a good move?
I mean, he is like a worldly thing. Like he's in the American way. Like, what does that really mean? But then the other side of me is like, this is just another piece of us just tearing down our own. We're like, we hate America so bad.
Yeah.
It's such a terrible place. We need to just get rid of anything that's associated with America. So.
It's fashionable right now, so
I don't care.
I mean, he is the ultimate immigrant story, coming to America.
Like, the point is this is not a real thing because we've done this. They've done away with the truth, justice, and the American way years ago. I feel like
Brandon Routh's character wasn't saying that anymore.
Yeah, there's actually a line in that movie where he's like, does he still stand for truth, justice, and all that other stuff? Perry White says.
Right, yeah.
The phrase started in the Adventures of Superman radio series from 1940s. So
when the world was a lot smaller.
Yeah, where we were in a war.
The market was just America.
And America won the war and shit, It
wasn't a global market yet.
Correct.
They were isolationist countries.
So, again, Superman for the world. It's for everyone. That's good. That's all the DC Fandome news I thought was interesting. Listener, there's more. Check out links on the internet. There's more shit they announced. But right now, we're going to take a break. play some promos, and come back and talk about that show about calamari. It's yummy right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hello, Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. So you're listening to a podcast that you love right now. Chances are I love it too. In the independent podcast community, we all support each other, which is why you're currently hearing this promo. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my show in the hopes that maybe you'll check it out. I welcome a different co-host each week, usually other podcasters, friends of mine, or random folks from the entertainment industry. Together, we count down our top 5 favorite things for whatever that week's topic is. It's often centered around music, movies, TV, and pop culture. We have over 250 episodes spanning nearly 5 years of programming, so there's bound to be something on our feed that's just for you. We release new episodes of Two Peas every Wednesday. For links to all of our content and to subscribe via your favorite podcast app, just go to our website. It's www.twopeasonapod.com. We can't wait to welcome you to the party.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, join our awesome fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can support the show on a monthly, yearly basis, and you get cool shit like an exclusive RSS feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content. For example, the movie Dune is coming out this week on HBO Max and in theaters October 21st. We will be reviewing it next week. There'll be instant reactions from myself and Rug Boy, but you could already hear Anthony's instant reactions to Dune.
The fuck?
How did this happen? You took advantage of that early screening, didn't you?
Yeah, you talked about it on the show. I'm sure many people couldn't take advantage of it because they don't live here, or they just skip that part because it's you talking and whatever.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But, but yeah, we luckily, I don't know what Warner Brothers reached out
They
to
just
us.
emailed me, and they're like, you want a thing for your listeners? I was like, sure. And they're like, sweet, here's a page. They set it up and everything.
So that, I took advantage of it. It was actually really cool. It's the second ever screening I've been to, like an advanced screening. Much more, I wouldn't say it was super organized, but we got there. I thought I was going to have to sit in line like me and you did for Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you got to get there 2 hours early and wait and shit.
Yeah, but this time me and my friend got there, and we were the first ones there, and they scanned our pass and gave us 2 tickets. And then they were like, just come back before 7. That's all you have to do.
Thanks, COVID. You can thank COVID for that, probably. They want people fucking bunch it up.
There were people in line later, and they did say that more people reserved than they had anticipated because they had originally planned for it to be like the perfect amount of reservations, but then they said a lot of press had requested tickets.
So there was like critics and reviewers and shit.
Yeah, there were like critics and actual reviewers other than me.
Yeah.
And the only thing that sucked is because we were not like a media. The media got like the best seats.
Sure.
So me and my friend got the second row.
Oh no.
So we're literally looking at the screen like freaking, like I couldn't, like screen was so big, like my periphery couldn't catch everything. And I'm like looking straight up at it.
How's your neck doing?
Oh, those are the worst seats you can get.
Well, it was either you can do the middle or you can do the aisle. Second row. I'm like, well, I guess we'll just do the middle.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that kind of sucked.
You just got to slouch down a little in the seat.
No previews, by the way. They don't show any previews at these screenings, and they literally they announce out, put your phones away, turn off your cell phones. If you have to use your cell phone,
please step
leave
outside.
the theater. Yeah. If we see that light on your face at all, we'll kick you out of the theater.
Oh shit! They're not fucking around.
Yeah, and they literally had like guys and like women in suits posted around like each of the.
Oh my god! It was like a serious.
I want to go to that theater for every movie.
No, this is probably just for this.
I think it was just for the screening. I think it was just for the screening, and it seemed like they had rented out the theater from that time because I didn't see anyone else going to any other movies, which was kind of strange.
Oh, interesting. Well, look, listener, if you want to know what Anthony thought of the movie, you're not going to find out right now. You either sign up for the Patreon, listen to his instant reaction, or you join us next week. I can't wait to watch this on my home theater at home.
The reviews are really good, and it actually, if I'm going to put on my Roman Polanski hat, I keep saying Roman Polanski, even though that doesn't make any sense. It is an Oscar. I think it is going to get some Oscar love.
Yeah.
But that doesn't reflect what I thought of the movie, which we'll get to next week.
We'll find out next week. The other fun stuff when you join our Patreon fan club is you get access to our Discord server where we're doing monthly hangouts. And this month, October's hangout is this week, Thursday, October 21st.
I'll be there.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
wow.
But all three of us are going to be there. This is a momentous occasion. It's rare.
So if no one else is there, it'll be us three just bullshitting.
If you've already signed up for the Patreon, join us. You're invited. If you haven't, sign up. $5 a month and above gets you into the server. And if you missed that one, the next one, November's will be Thursday, November 18th. But it'll be fun. We can talk about all the teaser trailers from DC Fandome and speculate about the Flash and the Batman more. It's a good time. Come join us, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get to the review of the show that I'm dying to talk about. Of course, Netflix's Squid Game first season. Here are your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This thing came out quietly September 17th, 2021. And again, I got to credit Jose Ibarra in our last monthly Discord hangout for turning me on. He's like, have you seen Squid Game? And that was it. That's all I needed, and I'm glad he did. Here's the crazy thing. Netflix never gives out numbers, but they did for this. This has been huge for Netflix, and they are bragging about this every second they can get. So, according to Netflix's metric, which is called Adjusted View Share, which uses both the raw figure of total viewership and the estimated value of those viewers, a number based on when viewers signed up and how often they use the service, Netflix said Squid Game reached 132 million viewers in 23 days. It was number one in 90 countries.
Oh, shit.
Fucking global huge phenomenon. And not only that, what is that estimated value? They give that number two. Netflix believes the series will generate an estimated $891 million in value for the company. So, and they paid about $21 million for the show, and they're telling Bloomberg we're going to make $900 million.
Now, was Squid Game made for Netflix, or was it just made in general and sold to Netflix? Do you know that?
I think they bought it. It's so the story of this is this guy had this idea in 2008, and nobody wanted it. He shopped it around. Everybody thought it was too crazy, too graphic, too violent, whatever. And Netflix did approach them because what this is, if you don't know, it's a Korean drama, what they call South Korea, from South Korea, a K-drama, known as K-drama. You got K-pop, you got K-dramas. The show was originally called Round 6, but Netflix, which has other international shows like your Narcos Mexico, foreign language shows, huge. They were looking for a big show. They wanted something to be like a foreign Stranger Things, like something that's that huge, that's not made in America. And they found created by Hwang Dong-hyuk is the creator. They found him, and I think they offered him.
Let me give
money.
a little bit more insight on it. So around 2008, he was trying to make this a movie.
Oh, right.
And he was inspired by Japanese survival manga books such as Battle Royale.
Whoa. We'll talk about that
Liar
later.
Game and Gambling Apocalypse Kaiji. And so he wanted to make this script, but a lot of the Korean production groups were basically telling him this movie's too violent and unrealistic. And then in 2010, Netflix was seeing a lot of growth outside of North America, and they started investing in a lot of stuff outside of North America, including Korea. And 2018 is when they kind of discovered this project. And so to answer Ruggs' question, I think it was made with Netflix in mind.
Oh, so it never was out in Korea, so it only premiered on Netflix, and that was it.
Yeah, it was as a result of Netflix.
That's huge for Netflix because they financed it. They picked a winner.
Yep.
Yeah, well, and they want
exclusive to them,
and they want to invest in these like projects outside. I think that's going to be one of their differentiators against like an HBO Max is they're going to have international appeal to these. Like these things are going to be in different, like what, because they're losing all their IP, right? So they have to create new IP or find IP or appeal to different crowds, and they can point to something like this and go, we had something that was made in South Korea and the world was watching this.
It's weird because like Netflix has literally tons of shit on it, and I haven't watched a lot of it because there's just so much to watch, really. So this one I was going to avoid.
Really?
Because it seemed too much like Battle Royale and Hunger Games and shit that I've already seen. And so I was like shitting on it when it first came out. I'm like, this is just a Battle Royale clone.
Well, Anthony, give us the basic plot of this 9-episode series. What happens?
Yeah, I will. I just want to also say the reason I watched this.
Yeah.
Even though that's not really a question that Ruggs has asked, I think it's important. I was also like whatever on it. And even though you talked about it, I was like, Imran watches everything. Fuck that guy. It just felt like the buzz had gotten so big on this. And I don't know how it happened because literally all my friends were starting to watch it and asking me if I'd seen it, that I was like, well, now I feel it was like, if I don't watch this, I'm not part of the mainstream conversation, and I have a podcast about watching.
Well, and this is how you know it's hit. This past weekend on Saturday Night Live, they did a SNL spoof about Squid Game. It was actually kind of funny. It's Pete Davidson, Rami Malek singing like a country song about how they're broke and they have no money. And he goes, "That's why I played the Squid Game." And then they're in the Squid Game and they're singing this country song about the Squid Game. It's fucking hilarious.
That's good.
The last time I felt like this about a Netflix thing was Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit. I mean, Stranger Things does this, when it comes out.
Something new, though. Like Stranger Things has obviously been around, but when it first came out.
Sure.
That where I was like, everyone is talking about this series, and now I guess I have to watch it.
Yeah, I knew. The minute I watched it, I was like, "Oh shit, Ed, this is going to be the big water cooler show now."
This show surprised me because as I said, I already had my preconceived notions about it, and they weren't wrong, by the way. I was right, but it's so much more than what I thought it was going to be, and I'm happy that I watched it, and it's just I mean. It's more than I'm glad that it's gotten all this popularity and it's worth talking about. And
I'm glad it's opened up the door to people checking out like the K-dramas. Because there's probably tons of other great shit that's out there that we haven't discovered.
And probably a lot of shit that will now get financed and made from other countries.
Oh, everybody's looking for Korean dramas now to throw money at.
Well, not only a Korean drama, I'm just saying like people are now maybe a little bit more open to seeing things in other languages from creators from other countries. So,
well, the beauty of this is that it is Korean, but it's also very universal, so it works across all borders.
Yeah. So the plot summary, just real quick. The names are gonna give me a hard time.
I got them down here, so you can refer
let me
to
just
the
look
notes.
at it. So there's a maybe like a 40-year-old guy who's a gambling addict. He's lost all his money. He's kind of a delinquent dad. He loves his daughter. His daughter loves him, but he's not really around for her because he's just delinquent, and every time he has money, he spends it on gambling, and has sharks.
His wife remarried.
Yeah, so he's really in the hole with a lot of things in his life, and he comes upon this man in a subway that basically offers him a game to play and make some money. So they have a little fun. They play the game. He gets slapped around a little bit. He makes some money, and he enjoys that so much that the guy's like, "You're basically a perfect candidate for this game called the Squid Game, where you can come in and you can make like millions of won, which would be millions of dollars."
Yeah.
And little do they know that they've been basically this cabal has been preying on people like Sung Gi-hun, who's down on his luck. And finding people that are down on their luck and taking them to this game, which is these kid games that they're playing, and they're all competing against each other, but the consequences are extremely deadly, and it's a kind of like an examination of like classes and
capitalism.
Capitalism, and kind of like what you would do if you were in this type of situation thing. So I guess it's similar to a Hunger Games or a Battle Royale. Candidly, I actually haven't seen any of those things. So for me, this was a little bit more of a unique experience.
The timing of this is amazing because when he first conceived this in 2008, you just had the big financial crash and people in Korea where there was a lot of poverty and everybody's wages fell. So it was appropriate then, but then to do it now where people are still kind of in the same situation after a pandemic, after 4 years of Trump, after the global economy taking a shit again. It's still very much relevant, over 10 years later, which is wild. How do we want to talk about this? There's so many things from the games to the characters to their relationships.
The whole genesis of this show is it's a death game, right?
Survival death game.
And, we've had these in the Roman Empire gladiatorial death games that everybody in the whole entire of Rome would go and watch people kill each other, and bet on them and whatever. And then you have obviously later in cinema when it became favorable to have violence in movies, because, in early cinema, they really didn't. They had Death Race, and that was a B movie. Right. And you had The Running Man, and you had all these other kind of televised gladiatorial things. Now this spins it on its head a little bit. And with the help of Battle Royale was about overpopulation. They take kids, put them on an island, and make them kill each other.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they explode. So a lot of that's in this as well. But the twist is that they're playing these kid games.
Yeah.
And you have some something that reveals itself through the game. There are things that reveal themselves. There's mystery. There's a little bit of that. So there's a little bit of there's violence for people. There's this kind of twisted kid game thing. There's this class thing, and there's this the being a degenerate gambler, and what does that mean, and humanity, and where do you draw the line
when you have
your morals?
A group of desperate people, some who are gangsters, some who are just seriously in debt. There's a North Korean defector character, which I thought was also interesting.
She's hot.
And a brown guy. There's a Pakistani guy.
She's a model, right?
She's a model.
So,
she was on
hot.
A modeling show prior. But one of the things too is all these guys, there's different motivations, but some of these guys are coming into the show and they have very pure intent to doing this game, right? They're trying. So the North Korean girl is trying to get her family out of North Korea. The Urdu Pakistani guy is trying to help his family. There's things going on here, so there's a lot at play. I'll start off by saying I freaking loved the show. I was hooked. I mean, I haven't been that hooked into a show since WandaVision.
The first episode is amazing, and you're just holy shit.
Yeah, the first episode. I mean, I think what for me really does it is I just really enjoyed the characters, and I liked kind of the unraveling of the plot. But it starts for me with the characters, and I think Seung Gi-hun, the main character, I think he's a very likable character. Cho Sang-woo is a very complicated character.
Sang-woo is a great character, a guy who's trying to hide, the fact that he's not as successful as everybody thinks he is. The community
he kind of he kind of reveals himself as one of the more diabolical people.
He turns into a fucking murderer by the end.
Yeah, and the list goes I enjoyed the North Korean girl Se-byuk.
Yeah.
Jung Ho as a police officer. I kind of liked his little thing in there. I loved the old man, Oh Il-nam.
Yes.
I loved his character. And
number one.
I loved his character, and then,
and the twist at the end. We'll get to the twist. What about the gangster guy? Deok-soo and the really annoying lady? He had a face you would want to punch, and she was super annoying. She was so annoying. I was like, oh, somebody shut this woman up. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I think for me, it starts with the characters, and I really did enjoy watching the characters.
Isn't it amazing how much character depth you get so quickly and so, subtly in these amazing moments? The second episode, it's wild because the first episode hooks you in, takes you to the game. Red light, green light. Half of the fucking people are dead right off the bat, and then the second episode...
Well, they're all intertwined already from the get.
Yes.
Ji-hung bangs into whatever her name is, the thief.
Right.
And she's hooked up with the other gangster guy that's in this as well.
He knows Sang-woo. He's buddies with Sang-woo.
Yeah. So then, he grew up with the other guy.
Yeah.
So there's already these... and that's what the thing about Battle Royale is, these people who kind of know each other already, and they kind of have a history. So that ties in here, and it works really well because you establish characters and the pecking order and all that stuff that even before they get into the game.
Yep.
So there's already a lot of that established, which is really smart of them to do.
And I love the pacing, the break. Really, the second episode is where you get the story. Like, they hook you in with the first one with a shocking game, and then the second one is really all story, and the voting sequence was amazing. What I loved about this show is how unpredictable it was. I thought I knew how those three characters were going to vote when they were voting on the game, and all of them voted the other way, and I was like, oh, fuck, this show is great. I cannot predict what the fuck is happening.
Well, that was a good moment too, because you think, okay, like it's the premise is all right, they're stuck in the game.
Yeah.
But then they give them the out and they all jump out, but then you see how shitty their life really is outside of it, and they're all like, fuck it, we got nothing to lose. Like, we need this money. And they all come back.
Yeah, and the ones who come back are the ones that really want to play, so it's a great way to thin out the fucking competition. Mm-hmm. I mean, and the set design, the practical, like largely practical effects, some blue screen, but not a lot of CGI. I love that. The MC Escher inspired staircase and the bright pinks and greens, and the warehouse setting was great.
That for me was when it went to another place. Like, okay, we've seen this kind of like death game thing before. We've seen characters interact, but when it got to the point of like just direction, placing of the camera, very Kubrickian, and it's like balance and asymmetry and all that other stuff that was going on in setting up these shots. The color relationships where you have green and red, which are opposites on the color wheel, and they're always at opposition with each other. You have all of these things that are these shapes, even the shapes on the masks. The amount of the complexity of the shape is how high you are on the pecking order.
Yes, of the workers.
So there's there's a shape hierarchy. There's so many things that play. The numbers that are on the uniforms.
The coffins that have a big pink bow on it is fucking dark.
And that's like foreshadowed in the gift that he gives his daughter with the gun in it. They thought about every single thing that went in on this. So there is a lot of craftsmanship to it that is pretty obvious in a lot of ways, but there's some of it that's so subtle that you pick up on it later if you watch it a second time.
We'll get into a second time you pick up a lot more. There are clues about the old man's identity throughout the whole series, and it's right there. And we'll get into the Easter eggs. Let
me just comment too real quick. I think the colors for sure, like the way it's set, it's designed in kind of like a very childlike fun, the pinks and the greens and like you mentioned, the shapes and the colors of like just how everything's lit. It makes it very, this, and they're playing child games, so it's like very childlike, but then there's this like creepy undertone to it. Like it's almost too perfect.
I love that the fact they were like in a room, but there was no roof, so you could see the real sky, but then they had painted wall skies and shit, and it was just wild. But it's very playground, like a daycare also.
Yeah, it's like a giant daycare, but then it's like this diabolical thing.
Yes, where it's like turns into an Eyes Wide Shut situation. You're like, oh, fuck, these fucking VIPs.
You notice the whole thing of faceting, right? The facets. So like the mask of like the front man has a lot of facets, but then when the VIPs come in, all of their masks are even more faceted.
With glass,
And then when you see that owl mask, it's super complicated. It's beyond. So it's like the masks get more complex as the hierarchy. So there's so much
set
thought
design
put
is
into
amazing.
it.
Yes, the detail. Let's go through the games and talk about what your reaction was and how good you would do in each of these games. Because the whole time, this show makes you think, "Holy fuck, what would I do? I would be dead."
That's the one of the biggest appeals for me of the show.
It's so great, but it also makes you think about what would the characters do, because you're given so much character information. You're invested in each of them and what moves they make. So, first episode, red light, green light. It starts with a universal game. They teased the Squid Game in the very beginning. This is a very Korean game, and we see it at the end. But then the first game is a great universal. Who hasn't played red light, green light, basically? But this time you have a killer fucking scary robot doll. Its head is spinning and just machine guns mowing people down, and you have to stand still and the fucking brown guy caught Ji-Yun, which was amazing.
Great little bit of character development there, though. That you learn immediately that okay, he's just not a brown guy. Like
Right.
this guy actually has he's a good guy.
Yeah,
he saves the guy in front of him in the midst of the game.
Didn't have to do that. This is every man.
And he's
for
missing
himself.
fingers, isn't he?
He is missing a finger.
Oh, he's
yeah.
missing a finger. That's right. So that apparently that doll is from like some museum they have. The first time you watch this, you're like, holy shit. The fact that people run back to the door and just get mowed down. And then if you don't make it across the line in time, you're just dead anyways. And again, here's the first clues of the old man. He's right up front, smiling, running ahead, having a great time.
Number one. He's number one.
He's number
too.
one. Also, if you notice, when they scan him, this is one of the Easter eggs. The robot wasn't really scanning him in green. Everybody else had a brighter green outline. He was not. It's like it was programmed not to even pay attention to him.
What I liked about that game, though, is he had that silly grin on his face, and I'm like, this guy is fucking amazing.
Because we think he has a tumor. He's got nothing to lose. He's going to die.
He does have a
anyways.
tumor.
He did have the tumor, yeah.
He's not the tumor.
Yeah, but he was so great. Just that fucking grin on
Instead
his
of
face.
going game by game, because that might take a while, let's just talk about like what our favorite games were.
Okay. What was your favorite game, Anthony?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was my favorite, but the episode where they have to pair up.
The Marbles episode.
The Marbles, because like you just learned that like the prior episode was tug of war and they had to be on a good team.
That was great, yes.
But then you do the Marvels episode, and for me, I think that episode, I'm not like overhyping this. I think it's one of the best episodes you'll ever see.
That's my favorite episode of the whole thing. This is the Red Wedding Game of Thrones moment of this fucking show.
This is like everyone's heartbreak episode. Like I didn't think it was. I didn't love it as much as Anthony did.
I loved it.
I love that episode.
I think that they did some brilliant things in there. Like the old man, like he sat down and he played this game. Like he knew that if he sat down and no one picked him, he would get a free ride.
Yeah, he could get out. Right.
So he just waited and waited and waited until the guy that he wanted to pick him picked him. So
And just imagine the setup, right? Like you said, Anthony, last game you want to team up with the strongest people. Now they're like everyone pair up. So the husband's going to pick his wife. You're going to pick your friend, and then you find out only one of you is fucking making out of this.
Shit.
I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And then how everybody played that game differently with different strategy based on the relationship between the two people. The two girls were like, let's just wait until the end and run the timeout. Why do we got to play it?
Well, I wanted to touch on that. Like, there's so much you find about every character.
Yeah.
Like, the criminals are funny. Like, they like fight each other a little bit, and they like theirs is a little bit of a comedy bit.
Right.
But like the two girls, you learn about both girls.
Yeah.
You learn about her being a North Korean, the other one having a dad that abused her.
Yeah.
And you learn, like, by the end, she's like, she basically sacrifices herself because she sees the other girl has more to live for, which is like, holy shit.
Right. Wow.
Then you have like Sang-woo and the Indian guy, Pakistani guy, Ali.
Yeah.
And like up to this point, you're like, although you did get one clue that Sang-woo was not as cool as it seems, because he knew how to play the game with the cookies.
The honeycomb, and he didn't tell
and he didn't tell anybody. Yeah. He saw that Ji-Yun picked the umbrella and was like,
he was about to tell him, and then he's like, never mind.
But anyways, you like up to this point, Ali and Sang-woo have like been best buds.
Yep.
And then Sang-woo's about to lose, and Sang-woo is just all of a sudden becomes a diabolical person and just tricks him. And then the old man and like Gi-hun, like, you're feeling bad because like the old man's like losing it.
Yeah.
And Gi-hun, you don't know at this point that it's gonna fucking flip the other way, but Gi-hun's like kind of taking advantage of him.
Yeah. Or is he letting him win? I was like, is he letting him win? Or
He's taking him. Yeah. He takes advantage of him, but then you learn that Ol Il-nam knew that he was taking advantage of him. He was just fucking around with him, and he still lets him go through. And you're like, oh man, this is so fucked up, because like the guy like reveals that you've just been a dick to him the entire time, but he's like, we're family, we're Gunumbu, so you're gonna go through.
This is my house.
Like oh my god.
Then you notice off-screen death. A lot of people caught that as a clue. You don't actually see him.
Yeah, that's at that point in the thing. I was like, no, he's not dead.
I didn't see this twist coming of the old man. Anyways.
So I have a quick thing. I recapped for whatever reason that the episode prior and this one, I read a recap online just to like digest everything. And the fucking recap I read online, I didn't see at the top that they said they were going to spoil everything for the entire show.
Oh.
I don't know why you would have a recap for episode 7 and spoil everything, but this one did.
Oh, no.
I missed that recap, and I literally am reading the first paragraph, and they spoil for me.
The twist of the old man?
Oil Nam shows up at the end. I'm like, I literally read it, and I shut off my phone. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that last episode.
That was bad for me.
Is crazy, and I was like, what did I just watch? What just happened? Okay, what other game? Ruggs, what was your favorite game?
Tug of War was fine. Like, I thought it was funny. And this is going to be a dumb reason why I thought it was funny, but like, they didn't do the thing like American shows would do where like they would try to be politically correct. They're just like, we don't want any girls on our team.
They're like, no, you're not going to be strong enough. Get out.
We don't want any weak people on our team. And I'm like, that's what you would do if you were trying to stay alive. You wouldn't try and like, whatever. You would mince words. And I was like, oh, they went there. That's pretty crazy. Like that they did that. But like, I thought that made me chuckle a little bit.
I love that the old man had a strategy to tug of war. Like I've never heard of it like that strategy for tug of war. It's kind of brilliant.
It makes sense in retrospect because he's the creator of the thing.
And he was at the end.
Well, and he's seen so many iterations of this game play out.
Yeah, and
so he would know. Someone would have had to figure out. Okay, we have a weaker team. How are we going to do this?
It. Yeah,
and he figured. Obviously, he's been watching it,
and it works for a second, but then it doesn't work, and then Sang-woo is the crazy man going, "Everybody run forward," and that gets him and drops him. And
if you look back in that one. He's not locked in to the chains like everybody else
sure?
is.
I thought he was chained to he was at the very end of their team, I know. I thought he was chained.
No, he wasn't at the end.
Oh, he wasn't at the end. He was in the middle?
The Urdu guy was at the end.
Oh, Ali was at the end?
He's the strongest guy.
I could have swore I saw that he was chained. I was like, he's fucking chained in. I don't know.
But if you take him at his word at the end, he played the game. He was willing to die.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was because he was like, he has the tumor in his head.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wasn't feeling anything anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, I think the thrill of potentially dying in his own game was, like, fun for him.
But he strategically gets his out at marbles, which, because he wouldn't have made the next game, which was Glass Stepping Stones, which I also thought that was a fucking great episode. Great game.
Oh, that was a fucking harrowing game.
I mean,
and they're so cruel. They turn off the lights on the guy that can see the glass.
Because I was like, how would you figure it out? And the fucking guy's like, I could see tempered glass. And then the front man's like, nope, click.
I have one comment, though, on that episode, and it's probably the only thing I didn't like about the show.
Okay.
The American actors are terrible.
I think, but so here's the thing.
Terrible.
Here's the thing. No, I agree. The American VIPs
they picked 5 guys that could speak English in South Korea, and they're like, good enough.
They're exaggerated. They're like, but on one hand, this is kind of like what Korea thinks of Americans. If you think about American shows... We do that shit all the time with minorities in American shows and movies. It's the same thing going the other way.
I did think of that. I thought maybe this is their play on how they think Americans are.
He says one of them, he wanted to look like Donald Trump. He was inspired by Donald Trump for the VIPs. Like he says that in an interview, the creator.
And I will say that this is probably how most people that speak other languages view when Americans are cast in roles where they have to speak another language and then they're butchering the language.
Yeah.
And like, you could understand it, and like he's saying that with a worse accent. He's not at all from China or Japan or Mexico or whatever. So I get that. It was just they were noticeably bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that was kind of the point of it. And the
69. My favorite numbers are going to be then 96.
The fat guy who like pulls the cop aside. That was
if
great.
You
scene.
can make me. Satisfy me in 5 minutes, I'll change your life.
Just characters. But Glass Stepping Stones, where
that was a harrowing episode.
Sang-woo becomes a cold-blooded killer. However, in his defense,
he pushes that guy.
In his defense, if he didn't do that, they would have all been dead. Somebody had to fucking do that. This is the thing. Like, would I have been able to do this? You want to be like Ji-Hyun was lucky he was last because you want to be last.
You want to be
in that
last,
game because all the shit.
I even liked the criminal like being like, "Fuck it, I'm not moving. Y'all are dying with me, or like, get ahead of me.
Yeah,
I'm not." I like that. Like that was totally in line with that guy's. He's not gonna fucking kill himself. No. He's not gonna risk his life for all these
just
people.
Sit there and have everyone die.
Yeah, if you want it, get ahead of me. And then the girl kills him.
Min Yo, when she grabs him and leans back, kind of like in Tug of War, she's like, "I feel so powerful," leaning back. She does the lean back. All of everyone's death also, if you notice, foreshadowed in the second episode. Did you guys catch this little Easter egg?
No.
So the gangster in the second episode jumps off the bridge to escape the other gangsters. That's how he dies. The girl, the North Korean defector, threatens that guy, threatens to cut his neck with a knife, and she dies, but with a knife slashed through her neck. Sang-woo, at one point, he's in the bathtub about to kill himself, and he fucking kills himself in the last game, in the Squid Game. Ali even stole. Remember, he bumped into his one of his coworkers and stole that guy's money with the blood and ran off. Kind of the same thing happens to him as he goes out. All of this shit was fucking foreshadowed in that episode. I just thought it was crazy. And then there was Honeycomb, which must be like a very Korean game because I've never heard of this game.
Never heard of that game. No.
And that was kind of it was whatever. Licking the thing to get free was kind of funny. That was the key.
I mean, that was a hero. Like
that was crazy too.
When the guy has the umbrella, I'm like, how the fuck is he gonna cut that out?
Yeah, that's a heart shape too. But I thought it was clever where she had the lighter and she's heating it up so it's melting and cutting down a little bit, and then she gives the gangster the lighter, and then you get the fucking Squid Game, which is just like a brutal. It's like a brutal.
I still can't wrap my head around how to fucking Squid Game works.
I didn't get it either.
From what I understand, is one person has to run across to the other side, and usually there's more than one person, and they got to sit in those side wings, or you have to go from the side wing to the other side wing, and then come back around and go through. I don't know.
You explained that really well.
Yeah, I don't know how you.
I don't know why it's called this. It doesn't look like a squid
it's
either.
Like
I guess
deconstructed kind of squid shape, abstracty. I don't know.
Like the Squid Game should be you fire some ink at someone's face and then you.
How many of those games would you guys have survived in? I don't know if I'd make it past red light, green light with, like you said, Anthony, my momentum. I just fall forward the minute our head turns around.
I mean, I think I would immediately panic and run the other way and probably got shot.
Like there's blood. You like the guy next to you just getting shot and his blood spurted on you.
I've got nerves of steel, so I would make it to the end probably. No, I'd probably die immediately.
All these games, I'd be like, fuck, I would have died in any of these fucking games. Let's talk about the twists this show gave us. I kind of liked the one weird side plot of the organ harvesting in the beginning of the show, because this is something that does happen in Korea and North Korea. People in China can get organs in like 3 hours.
Very, very, like Hostile vibes there. Have you seen the movie Hostel?
Yes, the movie Hostel. Yes, so they pick certain guys who die if they're not dead, and they're selling their organs. And eventually he gets busted by the front man, and I love the line where he's like, look, eat them, sell them, I don't care, but the games need to be fair. And then they're all fucking hanging in the middle as the doctor gets hung.
Yeah, I mean, and like, it was just an interesting, like, they have the doctor there, and they're playing this gambit where they're giving him what the games are,
right?
So he can stay alive, so he can keep, like, doing this thing for them, and it's just like fair. Everyone's playing this, like they're walking this tightrope, and I did like that, like the cop just gets in, but he happens to get the role of one of the guys that's in this scheme within the game.
Right,
and he's
that's convenient. That's true.
Stuck, and it's like the tension there where he's like playing up that he knows what's going on, but then he's asking stupid questions.
They're like, you were here.
Like, you were
Why
here.
are you asking this? He's like, oh, fuck. But he plays it off great. I loved all the cop shit. Right away when he snuck into the front man's office and he hung the phone the wrong way with the cord, because I noticed the cord was going the other way. And I was like, who puts the phone down like that? And when he picked it up and put it down, I was like, oh, that dude's going to notice that. And sure enough, he did. He goes, somebody was in here. I love those little details.
The actual, in the dormitory, the actual images of the games are on the wall.
All the games were on the
whole
wall
time.
the whole time, yes.
Oh, shit.
That was wild when eventually, if they had just moved, they would have known what order, but at least they would have known kind of what was coming up. They just moved the bunk beds away from the wall. That was a great fucking Easter egg. What'd you think about the front man and that reveal that it is the cop's brother who he was looking for the whole time? I felt like the next season maybe we'll get more into the front man. He was very mysterious. I want to know how I want to know if he was a winner of this game.
It was so weird because this is what I confused that guy who played the cop with another guy at the beginning of the movie.
Salesman?
Maybe beginning of the series. No, there was a guy who had like stripes shaved into the side of his head.
Oh.
And he died during red light, green light.
Yes.
And I thought that was his brother. It looked similar.
I thought that was his brother as well.
I didn't know.
I thought his brother was one of the first guys, one of the cocky guys that died right in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So,
and then that reveal was like, oh, maybe there was a red herring. Like they did that on purpose. They got a guy who had a similar haircut or something, similar build. And so you would think that they were brothers, but I don't know. For some reason, I got that vibe.
The only thing I didn't like about that, I didn't mind that he was his brother, but I'm with you, Ruggs. I agree. I thought it was someone else. Is that actor took me out of it a little bit.
Really?
Because that actor has been in big movies.
He is a big star, apparently, yes.
He was in G.I. Joe. He was Storm Shadow in the G.I. Joe movies.
Oh, shit. I didn't recognize him. Oh.
He was the T-1000 in Terminator Genesis. He's been in a lot of American films. So it was like, because everyone else I didn't know.
I didn't know
And then
him.
I recognized his face. I'm like, oh, he's someone, I've seen him in American movies.
Oh, shit.
So it took me out of it just for a little bit there.
Imagine it was like Ryan Reynolds or something.
The guy who played the salesman, the recruiter guy, was also in Train to
Chuck Norris.
Train to Busan.
Oh my God, Chuck Norris would be great. Or Shia LaBeouf.
Well, I didn't get the reveal because I was just like, oh, who's this guy? Until he says it's his name. I was like, oh shit, it's his brother.
Well, his brother, if you remember, won one of the Squid Games.
This is what I want to know more about the front man. This guy won and decided how did he get in charge of the whole operations? Clearly, the cop is not dead. You see him, he gets shot in the shoulder. You see him fall into the water. I think he's coming back. I'd love to know more about the front man and the story about how he ended up running these games.
So he must have won the game. He must have been in the game. He must have won it.
Yeah. And then he just must have been like a super enthusiast about it. Like he believed in it.
So let's jump to, I think that mirrors kind of the very end of the series where after Ji-Yun wins, he goes back and he's kind of miserable, but he's helping out. He's giving out money. And then he turns into an anime character and cuts his hair, dyes it red, and he's about
Didn't get the red thing. That must be a Korean thing.
Listen, I think I can explain. This is my theory. So he's headed on the plane to go visit his daughter in the U.S. when the game calls him again. They're watching. He calls him. He calls the game.
No. You're screwing it up. He sees someone in the subway playing the game, and he stops that person from. He takes that guy's card.
That's right.
Don't do it.
He's like, do not.
And then he calls the card.
And they're watching him because they're like, just get on the plane and go, bro. And then he goes, no, you, what makes you think you guys have the right to do this? And he turns around and heads back. This is what I think he's going to do. I think the red hair is to signify that he's going to try to infiltrate as a worker and take down the games from the inside, or maybe
why is
take
the red
over.
hair signifying?
Because the red is the color of the workers.
Pink. I'd go with pink.
Well, the bright pink. But
listen, I think that maybe he's going to be part of the game.
Yeah, I think
as a worker, as one of the guards.
Well, just like the front man was a guy that won the game and decided to kind of, that lifestyle is whatever, being in that environment. Like he's a gambler. He likes to, so he probably wants to be in on it too.
You know what I thought with that old man when he was talking to the old man? I thought we were going to have a Willy Wonka situation where he was like,
I'm giving it to you.
I've been looking for someone to take over the game, and you are the perfect person because you cared about me in this moment, and you were the only guy that loved me, and you should believe in this mission too. And I thought he was literally going to bequeath the game to him. And then the game, it would have ended with him like running the game.
I think one of these people is going to end up running the game. That was also great where he plays another bet. He bets on another person's life while he's in there dying in the hospital. He's like, if anybody goes and helps that guy, then. But so the other twist
but then like the humanity wins, right? Like the guy he loses the bet.
Yeah, because somebody did help him.
Yeah, but he's like, you saw that happen. You saw someone help him.
So the reveal being the old man says he was in charge of this the whole time, and he just did it because he was bored. He's done everything else. He wanted some
you
thrill.
figured that out? The old man was in charge of the whole thing? I'm sure you did.
Well, these are the things that the fact that he was number one was like an early, like, oh, that's a signal. Like that means something that he's the first.
And he's the only old man there.
And then when he started running through the thing without any abandon, I'm like, either he is fucking crazy or he's not going to die. This guy's going to make it to the end. They didn't know what his ties were, but he's making it to the end. But then when they shot him off screen, I'm like, he's in on this. I don't know if he runs it, but he's in on this.
Other clues you would have found is when the cop finds the records and pulls out the one from that year for the list of players. It starts with player 2. There's no player 1. Also, I think when the old man gave Ji-Yun his jacket, was him signifying to the game that this guy is winning. He's like protected. Also, if you notice, when the fight broke out, when he started screaming, everyone stop, is when the front man sent all the people in to stop the fight. So there was clues to his identity the whole time.
There was another thing that also it was like he kept on talking about that maze being his hometown.
And it was his hometown. It was based after his where he grew up. It was absolutely.
Did we like the twist?
I think it was. It got me. It got me when I saw him there. I was like, "Oh shit, he's not dead."
I think it adds something more to it. I think that it would be great if there was more. Because like one of the great things about like an M. Night Shyamalan twist is like there's so many times where you could have caught it and you missed it. Mm-hmm. And they only had like maybe 1 or 2 moments of like him being the leader, like in the owl mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was there in the owl mask.
There was one where he puts the mask down, you see his old ass hands.
Yep.
And you know, like that, you could have made the connection there. I would have liked maybe a couple more of those to like really be like, oh, I missed it all those times.
Plenty of clues to the old man. I mean, if you go back and watch it again, you'll probably pick up more. Here's another theory. If you notice, the recruiter guy, the salesman, everyone picks the blue tile that we've been seeing. A theory is if you pick the red tile, then they recruit you as a worker in the Squid Game. Now, here's some more crazy theories. People think the recruitment salesman guy is the old man's son. Another theory that Ji-Yun is the old man's son. I don't know if that one, but maybe the recruitment guy is going to take over because that was his son and his father died, and now he's in charge. I don't know.
I think the second season. So it's clear to me. It looks like they're going to make a second season, right? Like, has it been?
This is a franchise. Yeah, it's a franchise now.
I think this one is obviously Gi-hun trying to take down the Squid Game, but I think a lot of it will also be like flashbacks of like how long this has been happening and the front man and Oh Nam. Maybe you'll get like a young version of Oh Nam.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Like maybe they'll do like flashbacks to like the first Squid Game and now this and like.
Do they change the games? Will there be new games?
I think there are because I think the VIPs coming in. It's clear the VIPs coming in. They're like. Oh, guess the game. Which game is it going to be? Is it everything? Every year it's different games.
Right. They didn't know. Oh, and he talks about at one point how there's other games.
Right.
He's like, oh, the game in Korea was amazing or something. So this is not the only Squid Game going on.
Oh yeah, there's
around the world.
Other places they're doing.
Yeah.
This. I mean, yeah, definitely something they can build on. But it's also like I even though I would definitely watch a second season. If they would end the first season just like that, I'd be like, cool, good.
Fuck, I want to know.
I'd be like that. That's all we need.
I just so badly want to know what Ji-Yun is plan is. He's going back in. By the way, the numbers also come up. 456. The winning amount was 45.6 million won, which is about $38 million. So it's a lot of money to win. And I love again great touches where Sang-woo is the one who's like in the second episode. He's like, oh, there's a clause we can vote to leave. And then the guys are like, all right, before we vote, let's dangle a big ball of money in front of you guys. Here's what you're going to win. And I was like, fuck, now what do you do? And there's just this money sitting there staring at you the whole time. Fuck, why do you think this got so huge? Is it that universal in nature that everyone can see themselves in it?
I think, well, number one, it's just the way it was constructed. It kept building, and some of the episodes had like you had to watch the next episode, like especially this tug of war
that
one.
That one ended with an amazing cliffhanger, but you knew they weren't going to die because all of the main characters were on one team.
Well,
but you don't know, I guess.
Maybe like the first episode, all bets are off.
Yeah,
you don't know who the fuck's going to die. And then I just think that it visually was interesting. There was some air of mystery to it. It wasn't just a game. It was just done in such a very kind of colorful, inventive package that, I think people just fucking grabbed onto it.
It has everything. It has everything you want. Mystery, great characters.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, if we polled, like, what made people watch it. I mean, I can just give you my theory. I don't even know if it's correct, but I think it kind of helped that it was, like, this non-American thing, so there was a lot of like intrigue around it, like it's like from another country, like what and it's like very high quality production. But I think for me it was like, yes, I enjoy the characters, but I think like for a lot of people it's just like the plot, like how are they going to get out of this, who's going to win the game, like you kind of like get invested like in like which character you want to win the game and stuff. So and Hunger Games was a big thing too, and that caught on pretty quickly, and this is kind of like that from what I understand.
Yeah, survival genre, and the fact that there are games that everyone has played one of these games as a kid. I mean, I think you could pretty much bet on that.
I also think that it's one of those things that come out that it doesn't seem like it's engineered by a bunch of suits.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have that stench of like fucking corporatism to like, we need to check off all these boxes that, you know, you would check off in an American production.
Yeah, it's
it
one
was
dude's
just like,
vision, clearly.
yeah. So I was just like, cool. Like it's not corporate. Doesn't seem like the corporate filmmaking or corporate showmaking. It seems like more like a vision. And, you can see that from the get-go that it is that.
And I mean, you got to credit Netflix for that. They don't, you know, they let you do what you want. They're like, here's the money. Do make us a good show.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of Netflix, right? Is like their brand is anything, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't care.
Yeah.
Like they're not Disney. They're not. They don't have like the even like an HBO where it's like this. We had to be this thing. It's like we can invest in international things. We can do anime. We can do cartoons. We can do dramas. We can do anything. Like it doesn't.
Whatever gets subscribers.
There is no. The brand is everything. So you can get away with things on Netflix.
Also, the OL Nam means first man, loosely translated. Also, It's interesting. And the phone numbers on those cards apparently are real numbers in Korea, and the people at the end of those numbers are pissed because people keep calling them, going, "I want to play the games," and they're like, "Fucking stop calling me." So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, the show definitely got my imagination and was like, I literally had to, like, by the end, I was like, I got to watch that because I was thinking about it. Like, It was one of those things.
It is. It sticks with you. And I tried to space it out because, like, it makes you want to think about each episode. But then by the end, I was like, fuck, I got to see what the fuck's
Were any
going
of
on.
you just straight communists and watch it dubbed?
I did watch it dubbed. I watched it dubbed. I will admit, the dubbing isn't bad. That's how it started. I turned it on, and it would just started dubbed. And I was like,
Ruggs, did you watch it dubbed?
That's not bad.
I watched half of it subbed and half of it dubbed.
The dubbing, it was pretty good. It was not. It was actually very good.
I can't stand dub stuff.
I'm telling you, it was good.
Other than like as a joke when I was watching Godzilla movies as a kid and I couldn't read, but like, oh my God, the lips moving in a different way than what's being said.
That doesn't bother me. But if the dubbing was bad, I would have absolutely turned it off. But I'm like, this is actually pretty good dubbing.
Wow.
It kind of matches up, and it didn't bother me at all. And I got into it, so I thought they did a good job with that.
I was watching it subtitled in the first few episodes to kind of get the characters, and I'm like, let me try the dubbed, and if I can handle the dubbed, I'll get through it quicker. Because I won't fall asleep while watching it. Because that's what happens when I watch subtitles now. Like I just reading it makes me just it just makes me go to sleep. Like reading, it just puts me to sleep.
Rug ol ilnam.
Rug oil knobs.
Rug ilnam. Just 75 years old
Because
with a tumor in his head.
otherwise I have to watch it during the daytime. So I don't fall asleep, or if I'm doing like an activity or something, like I'm working out or something.
I think another clue is the old man voted to end the games, because at that point I was like, he has a tumor, he's got nothing to lose, he's going to vote to keep going, and he doesn't. But it's a smart move because now he has the people who I think he felt bad that people didn't know they were going to die, and the people returning actually wanted to be there.
Well, he knew that the game they were going to continue the game. He just wanted to see, like, he knew it was going to come back.
Yeah.
Like, they always give the people the option to come back. And then he just was like, I really want to see now who's in it for real. Like, the people that are in it are ready to kill. Like, they're it becomes much more of an intense game.
Yeah. Does Ji-Yun gets away without killing anyone, though, doesn't he? Did he kill people?
He does not kill anybody. Other than, I mean, I guess if you could call Tug of War, he killed part of that.
Inadvertently.
Right.
But
he thinks he killed the old guy, but he didn't.
Right, inadvertent. But not like actually with his hand. Like everybody else seemed to be killing people.
He was going to kill Sang-woo, but then the girl stops and was like, that's not you.
You know what? Brilliant writing right there. Because the same thought in my head when he put the knife out and he's going to Sang-woo, I was like, in my head, I'm like, bro, that's not you. That's not your character. The minute I thought that, she fucking said those words. I was like, wow, this show's great.
But you know, like, even though he's like clearly like a good person, like he's still is like, I still like the layer. Like I really enjoyed that. Like in the 7th episode, that like he lies to the old man.
Yeah,
Like, he's like, okay, I'm even if I like feel bad about it, like it's my life. Like I'm still not going to play this game fairly. Like I still want to live.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you have like the guy's like guesses evens. He's like, oh, I what did I guess again? And he's like,
and he gives him the out. Yeah.
Odds. You guessed the wrong. You guessed.
Well,
wrong.
listen, that's the fucking craziest thing about this is when it comes down to it, it is survival.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Battle Royale later because I watched that too. But it's like, you have to kill or be killed. What are you going to do in this position?
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I don't know what I would do.
Exactly. It really...
I think he thought about it, and he was just like, "This is an old man with a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Like I still have life to live.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
He could
like,
rationalize
the
it.
equation.
Sure, he could rationalize that.
You could rationalize. He's like, well, this guy, even if he gets out of here with the money, he's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah,
with
what good is it? Somebody else should get it, and I'll just take advantage of him. And
but then even like you go to like Sang-woo, and he's like, we've made it this far, and like now you guys want to end the game. Like all these guys will have died for nothing.
Yeah,
which is I mean you're killing people, and like you're kind of like framing it in a way, but
he's
still
rationalizing.
He's rationalizing.
Yes.
Like he's not. I mean, I think he is like a shitty character, a shitty guy, but then he's also like he's trying to like get out of debt. Like,
do you think he redeemed himself with the sacrifice where he kills himself at the end to make Ji Young win? Yeah, well,
I actually wish he didn't kill himself.
But then who's gonna win? Then they're both gonna die.
Yeah,
or would they split the money? No,
I think they would have both died.
Yeah.
No, what happened was Sang-woo was going to end the game, or Gi-hun was going to end the game.
They were
going to
vote to end the game.
Well, he was going to be like, "You're
right.
incapacitated, so I'm going to vote, and I'm going to vote end the game."
But Ji-hun's like, "No, you should take them." Or Sang-woo's like, "You should." Take
he just
money.
like apologizes for all the shit he's done, and then kills himself, and then by default,
he never uses the money because he didn't want it to begin with. At that
he
point,
doesn't use it at all.
Doesn't Sang-woo tell him to like take care of his mother too, and then he kind of kills himself?
I forget if he says that.
Because he, at the end, he takes the kid that was Se-byuk's brother and puts him with Sang-woo's mother.
Right.
And then it's so sad that his mom is she died while he was away and he didn't know.
Yeah.
That was a little,
and he gives her the money, or he gives her some of the money.
Yes, I'm sure he still has some, but he gives her a lot of money. But they must still have more.
I wonder what he did for that year and after not used any of the money.
I don't know. He had his hair got long and he wasn't shaving and he just looked like he was depressed and drinking for a year.
I liked that bank scene. I was like, oh, they're calling him because they're like, is there something wrong? You're not using the money.
Right. This money's been sitting there for this long. You sure you don't want to use the money? Yeah. All right. I mean, I think let's rate this, and I think we're good. It's a fucking great show. I'm gonna just start. I'll give this a fucking 10.
Whoa,
shit!
Might as well. It's something that surprised me that I love every aesthetic. They got so many things right, and I want to see a season 2. Anthony, what would you give it?
9.5.
Okay.
My only criticism is the American actors. You know what that reminded me of? Ruggs, you'll get this. When they had in Shin Godzilla the American Japanese person.
Oh my god!
She was speaking English, and it was like, you just learned English.
So bad.
It's so bad. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ruggs, what'd you give it?
Well, you know what? Like for it, I'm struggling with this because it does borrow a lot from other things, and it is derivative of other things, and so that I can't really give it like 100% of the points. So I'm gonna give it like a 9,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And I just thought it was beautifully art directed, and I think that it was shot well, and visually it just has staying power. Like the fact, the whole thing with the PlayStation mask, and
I love the PlayStation
and the
mask.
crazy sets with the giant robot thing. There's so many visual things that it's just robust and robustly visually pleasing, and even the way that they did the games, were great. So. Yeah, I enjoyed it from a visual standpoint a lot more than originality standpoint, but like I think it was a really good show, and I would like to see what happens next. It doesn't need a season, like Anthony said. It doesn't need another season. It pretty much told you everything you needed to know. But I do think they have a franchise on their hands.
I mean, I also think it has amazing rewatch value, like just like a movie like Fight Club. the minute you find the reveal, you're like, oh shit, I gotta watch this from the beginning to catch all the clues. Like, I'm gonna watch it again. I think you get more out of it with repeat
If you watched
viewings.
it dubbed, I would go back and watch the emotional scenes with the subs
I'll
on.
do that, yeah.
I did that quite a few times when I was watching the dubbed ones, and I was like, I got to see it with the original language.
Hear their voice.
They hear it in their voice really makes it. And for what it's worth, when I have it subtitled, it makes me actually pay attention more.
Yeah. They're all great actors, though. Like the cast, solid cast.
Well, you know something like it has like captured the. You'll see during Halloween, everyone's going to be dressed as these
either
characters.
as the guards or the players. Like they're both easy costumes.
Very easy costumes.
Like I said, I think last week Vans went up 7,800% white Vans sales.
I didn't even know that they were wearing white Vans.
They were wearing white Vans, and that tracksuit is so easy to make.
Sales for white Vans.
Yes, everybody wants white Vans. I even think some of the other numbers are like clues, other than 1 and 456.
You know what? Too is even the like that little.
Oh yeah, it's creepy.
That music. I mean, they played it so much, but I was like, it was ingrained in my head. I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, that something's bad's gonna happen.
Fucking great shit, dude. Highly recommended. Check out the Squid Game if you haven't seen it, even though we spoiled everything.
Squiddy Games.
Fantastic. Okay, let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks.
The only podcast with fart noises.
It's always two
scheduled.
farts.
Yes, it's never just one because a little bit's left.
There's always a little bit left to just eke out at the end.
Our buddy Blake Braden, Blockade Braden, posted this on the Facebook group. Breaking news from today, Monday news from Disney, and it's delays.
Lame.
Basically, all these Phase 4 movies have been pushed back. Doctor Strange, that was supposed to come out March 2022, is now moved to May 2022, so not horrible. Thor Love and Thunder is now July 8th, 2022. Black Panther, now scheduled for November 11th, 2022. Marvel's February 17th, 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp pushed to July 28th, 2023. They also removed 2 untitled Marvel movies in 2023. And one's been rescheduled. Remember when we were like, holy shit, they're giving us 4 or 5 movies a year? Well, it's back down to 3. Other crazy news, though, they pushed the Indiana Jones movie back like a whole year.
Shit.
Yeah, that's, he got hurt. And there's rumors that there's time travel involved in this movie. This movie is good.
No,
this movie's going to be so bad. I'm sorry. I don't think, even though it's James Mangold and old ass Harrison Ford, I don't know if this movie's going to be any good. If there's going to be time travel.
The only thing I'm concerned about with those pushbacks is I noticed that when they took those untitled movies, and I think one of them was supposed to be Blade.
Oh yeah,
I'm hoping that it's just Blade is just being pushed back, and they're not going. You know what? We're not doing Blade.
Yeah, that 1 got pushed and 2 were removed. So, I mean, I think this is part of the TV shows are still on schedule. So I don't know why they did this. Maybe they need more time.
Was it the strike, you think?
So that's the
what
other
I
thing that maybe they were preparing for the strike. If the listener is not aware, we've all been kind of following the story. IATSE, which is a union in Hollywood of
I thought it was a game with dice.
No, that's Yahtzee. IATSE is a union consisting of 60,000 members work in Hollywood across the country, and these are all your production guys, your camera guys, your visual effects guys, your griffs, your gaffers, the guys who get things done.
The best boys.
The best boys, the best girls. They want better working conditions. They had voted to go on a strike today if their requests weren't met. Well, they came to an agreement, and the strike has been averted for now.
Well, I think that the reason that they have to push stuff back is because with this new deal, they get less shooting
Production
time.
will take longer because
so they're gonna it will definitely affect shooting schedules.
Bilatti's part of this. We've been talking to him. I'm behind absolutely the IATSE because they have crazy days. Like you're just expected to work 12, 15 hours and have very little turnaround time and give your all and not make a lot of money to get these movies made while the fucking producers and the talent get all the money. but a lot of actors are behind them. It's good for them. They need better working conditions because it is dangerous. It becomes dangerous when you're so tired. You're working 16-hour days. You can't even drive home without, something happening. So it's not light.
It's rough.
So I don't know if they were anticipating something with this pushback or it's just partly still COVID. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
I don't know.
It's all right. Whatever.
Well, when talking about pushing things back, you ever push your balls back into your butthole?
Oh, you mean like Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs? Or the Tuck? Is that what you're talking about?
For some reason, whenever I hear pushing back repeated many times, that visual came to my head.
I think of that. I don't think of that as often. I think of in Training Day when the Hispanic gangster's saying to Ethan Hawke, "You ever get your shit pushed in?" I've had my shit pushed in.
That's a great scene. Yes.
We're on the same wavelength, Anthony. This is really fucking wrong, but on the same wavelength.
You ever push your balls back into your asshole, listener? How does that make you feel? And then the other news from the Facebook group, Daryl K posted the article about why The Last Man on Hulu that hasn't even finished its first season has been canceled at Fox on Hulu.
Lame. Wow.
I was digging this show. I really like it.
Were you?
Yeah, I like this show. I mean, all the boobies I talked about last week didn't help save the show.
There was a lot of boobs.
You saw the boobies, right? I told you.
I did. I saw the boobs. You told me there were boobs. I went and watched it immediately.
I think it's such an interesting concept. I love Agent 355. I love Yorick is the worst character on the show.
Yeah, he sucks.
Unfortunately, the lead guy who's why The Last Man is an asshole and he's not likable.
Yeah, it's like they got a guy who's like, maybe this is definitely by design. The Last Man on Earth is like this beta who like has a lisp. And
he's an escape artist. That was his job.
He's an escape artist, and he's just artist. Like useless. Such a mushy dude.
Fucking
like
useless.
He's not like, he's not even like. I would rather have 355 at my side than this guy.
Is fucking dope. She's such a great character.
All day.
Yeah.
Right, this guy's such a mush.
So it's sad. I'm still going to watch. Diane Lane is great. They are hoping they can shop this around. Maybe somebody else. Maybe Netflix. Fucking Netflix pick it up. I don't know. You put everything else on. But the irony is they've been trying to make this show for like 8 years. Like such a...
It would have been really edgy if it was on earlier. But now it's kind of like... It's one of these things. It's like, why aren't people watching this? This should be like the best... Everybody wants to get rid of men, like men are bad.
This is right up everyone's
alley. This is the show
right
for
now.
you.
No
like,
shit.
Why isn't nobody watching this?
It does remind me a lot of like a Walking Dead. It's kind of the same apocalyptic feel, only there's no zombies as everyone else is. But I'm gonna watch the last 3 episodes, I guess, and maybe it gets picked up. Too bad, because people have been talking about this show for fucking years, and it gets one and done and fucking canceled. Great.
Do you think Hulu is the problem?
They clearly must have seen like. Nobody's watching this, and we're just gonna kill it. I don't know
because they had like a hit, didn't they? With the girls that with the napkins on their heads. What's that show called? The Handmaidens or something.
Tale.
Yeah,
the Wu-Tang show is still on. They got Only Murders in the Building, and they got a lot of good shows that are just as good as this show.
So this one's just nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody's downloading it.
I don't know. It's weird that they canceled it just like, no, we're done.
It's got a monkey.
I know. It's got a little capuchin monkey named Ampersand.
It's not a real monkey.
But enjoy the first season. I mean, again, also like Lovecraft Country ended after 1 season. I thought also that was a shame. Should have gotten a second season. So anyways.
It's got a monkey in boobs.
Oh, it only had 1 season.
Yeah, and then it got canceled.
Wow, I was
going to watch
that.
Then it won Emmys and HBO canceled it. It makes no sense.
I was going to watch. I watched 1 episode of that, and I was going to continue to watch it. But
see, so both of these shows, I would say it's still worth a watch, even though it's done. Like Lovecraft is amazing. I would watch that. It's a great show. A lot of money went in.
I liked the first episode.
Yeah, it's wild, and it's something different. Okay, let's finish with some. What are we watching? I wanted to talk about Battle Royale. We've referenced this movie. It was made in 2000. Japanese movie. I also watched it this week in preparation for Squid Game. Squidward, the Squiz Game. And Battle Royale it's very graphic and violent, and it's kind of a great watch because it's 2 hours of teenagers just fucking murdering each other. It's fucking fantastic.
Right. So it's like in the future, they have a population problem and they have like a youth problem.
Yeah, the adults hate the youth And they've enacted this battle royale act where they randomly pick 40 kids and they send them on an island. They all have a collar that has a bomb in it. They are all handed a bag of supplies and random weapons.
And only one of them can live.
And at the end of 3 days, one of them has to be left alive and they can leave. If not, everybody's heads get blown up. So you have to kill your friends. Now, the great thing is the bags they get have random weapons. Some people get like a crowbar. Some people get a GPS unit. Some people get a fucking machine gun. Some people get a Kevlar bulletproof vest. And I was like, if you get the machine gun, the game is over. You've won. Just fucking shoot everyone. Doesn't quite work out like that.
They don't give you endless bullets.
No, they don't. You got to save your bullets. But it is a wild ride. It's very exaggerated over the top of some parts.
It's just great because they start the movie off with them like playing basketball and like talking about going to a dance and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they're like herded into this. Like, oh, you'll have to all kill each other, by the way.
Yeah. And the leader is like their 7th grade teacher who is running this, and he's forcing everyone to kill themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And these like relationships, like another thing so they all wear these collars, and they're like, okay, listen, you have 3 days to see who lives and who dies, but you also can't fuck each other because if you try fucking around with each other, we'll blow you up too. And they can. I'm like, the first thing I would do if I was on this island, I'd be like, oh, let's all fuck. I'm fucking everybody.
Nothing to lose. Then your head blows. Head blows up.
So, like, no fucking is going on. It's very frustrating for these teenagers.
Here was my thought, because in the beginning, they one at a time, they sent everyone out into the island with the bag. Now, if you're the first person out of that room, you just have to stand there and take everybody out as they're coming out of the room.
That's what the guy with the bow and arrow was trying to do.
He was. The game's over right there. Yeah.
But the girl who ended up getting like the scythe.
Oh, yes.
She was like murking people like left and right.
She was bloodthirsty ninja.
That was also the movie where Gogo Yubari from Kill Bill was discovered. Oh. She was the girl that ran in the tracksuit.
Oh, okay. Okay, the runner.
That was Gogo, yeah.
Anthony, I would check this out. It's pretty good. It's free on Amazon from IMDb TV. There's commercials in it, which is kind of annoying.
It's no Squid Game. Squid Game took this and added a dimension of the game, made it a game. This was like more like just like whoever can last. There was like, they had some people. There was like a group of kids that were trying, and they did succeed.
Oh yeah, they're trying to hack the computer. Yeah,
they hacked the computer that had the controls for that would explode their heads, and they were able to get that off and kind of subvert the game. And actually, this was like the first time that the game got subverted. Mm-hmm. And more than one person survives at the end. So, like, it's not just, okay, the last man standing. There's still another element there. But Squid Game took this idea, and you know that Squid Game was influenced by, because it had the island.
Yeah, they were also on an island, yeah.
Had the idea of them being in a relationship. The fact that their teacher was the guy running the thing and also participating in it was like kind of like the old man being part of it. And then Blue Danube, which is the song that they play in the movie and in Squid Game all the time. Whenever they have an announcement they play, or where Squid Game's about to start, they play dun, 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 dun.
They were it almost looked like they were on the exact same island that the Squid Game island was. It was in the same location off of South Korea.
Yeah, and they played the same song in that as well. So I was like, wow, I
think if you like Squid Game, you should check out Battle Royale, because it's
not the same thing.
It's not the same, but you'll enjoy that, and you'll see the inspiration.
It's just more random people killing each other rather than this focused, chess game.
Because it turns into kind of like a slasher movie, It is
basically a slasher movie with it.
I thought it was good. I'm glad I saw it, because everybody talks about this movie. I've heard about it for a long time.
It's of its time. Yeah. It's campy. It's cheesy. It's like a B movie slasher movie.
Fucking violent, yeah.
But to have, like, imagine, it's a movie where all these kids that look like they're in 7th or 8th grade killing each other violently.
Great.
These aren't like adult kids that are like in their 18 or 19 or 20. These are like 15-year-old kids killing each other.
There's some twists. They got some transfer student characters in there, and you learn some twists about them, which are pretty good.
What are they supposed to be in, like 9th grade?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it was cool.
It's good. Check it out.
Lord
on
of the
Amazon.
Flies, with machine guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps I'll check it out. I mean, I'm on the. There's so much to watch, but yeah.
What have you watched? Have you watched anything?
Well, I was doing the Squid Games, but I did want to it was a live thing. I watched Joe Coy perform at Chicago Theater, and I noticed he has 3 Netflix specials. So
nice. How was that?
It was awesome. I
Coy is
literally never. I knew who Joe Coy was because I'm Filipino, and I just knew who he was. But I literally have never watched anything Joe Coy. So it was like I went in completely blind, and it was really cool.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
He was talking about like how he used to perform at Zanies in Schaumburg 11 years ago, and he's been on like Comedy Central. His first Netflix special, he was talking about how he had to finance it on his own. Like he's basically like going like, kids these days, they don't know hard work. Like if this would have happened to like one of these kids, they'd go online and go, ha ha ha, Twitter, go to Netflix. Netflix is racist. And he's like, fuck that shit. I just went out and filmed it and created it on my own. I financed everything. And he's like, as I was filming it, Netflix was like, no, we're really not interested. And he's like, I'm going to keep doing it.
Oh,
and he talked about how like Netflix at the time was like telling them like, hey, don't talk about your mom. Like that accent isn't like very appealing or whatever. And he was like fighting that. So it was like a lot of very interesting.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
the show was funny, but then he was also talking about like a lot of the things he's had to overcome to get as big as he has.
He's been doing stand-up since 1989.
Yeah. Very funny. I was very impressed.
Yeah, Joe Coy's great. Check out any of his Netflix specials. They're always.
Have you watched
they're
them?
fantastic. I've seen some of them. Yeah, I think I've seen 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I love him.
I seen them when they came out. They were like way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on those. It's either it's that, then I want to like also watch Chappelle, and then Theo Vaughn, who I really enjoy, is coming out with a Netflix special actually at midnight tonight, which would be Tuesday morning. And I like Theo Vaughn a lot, so I might.
Yeah,
check
you got to
that
catch up on the new Chappelle specials.
I don't watch as many comedy specials as I think I should.
They're only an hour too. It's really not a lot of time.
Did you know that Theo Vaughn was like on The Real World or some shit?
He was on Road Rules way back in the day, and he transformed his life into a comedian.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's a crazy man.
Have you seen his comedy? I mean, I only saw one Netflix special, and I thought it was actually pretty terrible. It was a while ago. But I don't know. So I'll see how this Netflix special is for him. I think he's better like riffing off people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a podcaster, so he's okay.
He goes on
that.
Rogan, and he does the podcast.
His like humor to me is just so like off the wall that I'm just like,
you love
like
Theo
he just
Vaughn,
I love it. I own a hoodie of his. I own a shirt.
Nice.
I got my mullet because of Theo Vaughn.
Did you buy any Joe Coy merch? No.
I did not know.
No, you should have. Support the Filipino business.
Hey, he did have a CPAP joke, and he was making jokes that you could buy CPAP machines that are signed by him at his stand.
We all need those.
He made the joke that at night when you're snoring and you like are and you have sleep apnea, your partner can see you and you think like everything's fine, but it looks like you're getting looks like you're giving blowjobs to ghosts when you have sleep apnea because you're just mouth open.
Something is being shoved into your mouth
and the ghosts are going, oh, we can fit 1 in there. Let's try 2. Oh, get over here. 3rd ghost, get over. Let's do 3 at a time.
That's what happens to me
That's what it looks like when you have sleep apnea.
You get face
That's
fucked
what it
by
looks like
ghosts.
whenever you see Imran in his mouth.
I'm being face fucked by multiple ghosts.
You're getting face fucked by ghosts.
Is that going to be in the new Ghostbusters movie? That should be a scene.
Jeez. That no Ghostbusters movie, for what it's worth, is getting good reviews.
Oh, I'm kind of excited for that. They got the Dan Aykroyd and the crew coming back.
They had to redeem the whole Ghostbusters brand. From whatever.
It looks like it's nostalgic and something new and exciting.
IGN was saying it's like I only saw the IGN review. I'm not going to watch anymore, but they were like it's a good combination of like a new story, but then like a lot of like throwbacks if you're like a fan of Ghostbusters, because
this is what I wanted.
It's Harold Ramis's granddaughter that's kind of like leading
Egon's granddaughter, and it's directed by Jason Reitman, who's Ivan Reitman's kid.
Right? Yeah,
Wait,
Egon.
It's the real granddaughter?
No, the character of Egon's character.
Egon's
but fucking Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd's back, Finn Wolfhard. This doesn't come out till November 19th. I think it came out early, and some people have seen it.
Some people have seen it.
It's still a month away, but yeah, we'll review it. We'll watch it. I love the
Apparently
Ghostbusters.
a good like Goonies Ghostbusters type.
I'm in. I'm in. Paul Rudd is going to be hilarious. You know, he's Paul Rudd.
It's nice. I love the original Ghostbusters.
The original is one of the best comedy movies.
It's one
movie.
of the you know what it is, Imran?
Yeah.
I don't wait. I might be. Is it one of the movies that made us?
The movies that made us. It's not on the series of Netflix, but a new season of that show has come out. I watched a couple last night. This
Wanted
season,
to cue you up.
This season they're doing kind of like a Halloween theme with some great movies. So it's a series where in an hour they give you like the backstory of these movies. They're doing the movie Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, but then RoboCop, Aliens.
Whoa.
Coming to America.
Oh, Coming to America is one of the scariest movies ever made.
Yeah, I don't know why that one's in there. And then Nightmare Before, and then it goes Christmas, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Elf. So I watched the RoboCop and Aliens one.
Geek boner.
Oh, great,
Good?
fantastic,
Oh,
great story.
Man, now you're giving me something else I should.
You got to watch those two. I don't really care much about the horror ones. Maybe I'll watch them. I'll watch the Coming to America and Elf, but I had to watch fucking RoboCop, and I want to rewatch RoboCop and Aliens after watching those two episodes. Because they're just fantastic.
The original
movies.
RoboCop is one of the best movies ever.
It's fucking great, and like they talked about how making that movie was a fucking nightmare because you had Paul Verhoeven, who was crazy, and Peter Weller did not get along with Paul Verhoeven, and that suit was a fucking nightmare. The first time they put that suit on, it took them 15 hours. They wasted the whole day literally screwing in screws on Peter Weller. And he couldn't
think
take it
about
off.
like that, and now you would just CGI that suit,
right? Just little dots on you, and then it just appears.
Like think about like Iron Man now. It's like Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. is barely like wearing anything.
Yeah, but that first Iron Man, that practical suit was amazing on that. That was like as good as RoboCop.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying like that RoboCop suit still holds. Like you watch that film, and it's like it doesn't look like shit at all.
No, it's dark, and it's a great, again, another commentary on capitalism. And
it's such a dark movie.
Oh, it's so good. I kind of want to watch it again.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, and there's so they explain why that scene happened. There's so many great backstories. The suit wasn't ready, so they had to shoot everything around him, and they came up with.
I remember seeing that as a kid, and I'd played the video game, and I was like, oh yeah, like I want to watch RoboCop. And then that guy gets his hand blown off,
so
and I'm like,
violent.
"Oh my god!" I would like. My mom was like, "You should not be watching this."
So this is how great the '80s were, right? You started with an R-rated, violent-ass RoboCop movie, and by the end of the decade, there was RoboCop cartoons, RoboCop toys. The kids watching the cartoon cannot watch this fucking movie.
I was playing the video game, like
it was video games.
Literally, it was like RoboCop and RoboCop, Alien, Predator. I got burned all 3 times. As a kid, I was playing like video games with those characters in it. I'm like, oh, there's a movie. I want to watch the live action movie. And I watched the live action movie, and I'm like fucking looking between my eyes. Like, oh my God. What am I watching?
Traumatized watching this movie.
Anthony's like scared in his room.
I was fucking scared as shit. Dude.
RoboCop was a Saturday morning cartoon. Does this make any sense to anyone? But it worked. I watched it. I remember watching it.
The original RoboCop got an X rating for that scene.
Yes, he had the first screening, he had to cut it down to R rating because it was so dark and violent. But movies that made us
in the 80s.
Yes, they're all great movies. Movies that made us on Netflix, great series. That's it. Anybody else watch anything they want to recommend?
Rugs has probably watched 17 things.
No, I watched a couple of episodes of Why the Last Man, and I watched Squid Game and Battle Royale. That's what I watched this week.
Well, here's your assignment. Dune in theaters and HBO Max.
I'm on that shit.
2.5 hours. It's actually coming out on HBO Max before it even hits the theaters this time. Thursday, October 21st.
And I watched the Sopranos thing.
Oh, you did watch the Many Saints of Newark. What did you think of that?
It was a fine gangster film. I feel like that the focus wasn't enough on Tony Soprano
No, it wasn't at all. It was Dickie Moltisanti.
Yeah, it was just it could have had a little bit. It could have been a little bit better, but it was fine. It was fine.
It was like a decent episode of The Sopranos. It's a nice little added bonus, kind of like Camino. That movie El Camino was to Breaking Bad. You're like, it's good.
Yeah, it was fine.
Extra. But Dune, we will be reviewing next week. It is long. There's
movie.
Lots of dust.
Long movie. Hans Zimmer. A lot of music.
A lot of great Hans Zimmer music. Great. I can't wait to experience the first half of this story, which I already know it's only half of a story. So,
yeah, it's
Muad'Dib. Anyway.
What?
Is that a Dune reference? Nobody knows what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
Mohadi.
it. That's it for this week, listener. Check out the show notes for all the links and everything. Share the show with your friends. That's the most important way you can help us spread this around like some chlamydia or some gonorrhea or something.
Whoa.
Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Be more funny.
Like